Understand I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Dead or alive, I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. I had to shed tears on this one. Best believe I'ma paint the city red behind this one. Real nigga, why you pull a trigger on this one? A moment of silence for the dead, we lost a real one. Yeah, smoke up in the city like a vapor. Holding up on me, I make her me her maker. Big bro, taught me 35 ways to get some paper. And it's middle finger to you motherfucking haters. OG status, since he was a young nigga, say. Real in that field since he was a young nigga, say. Been on go since he was a young nigga. Did them 17 years and he stayed solid like a real nigga. Loyalty, what he stood on. Started fucking with this roach ass sad alley bitch. When he came home, blindsided cause it was his baby mama. Shiesty hoe, can't trust these hoes. Say these hoes will get you killed, bro. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Dead or alive, I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Standing on this whole head like I'm standing on business. Got a 30 round drum and I'ma shoot it till it's empty. Since you been gone, I've been feeling kinda empty. I'm just grieving right now, but I'm not looking for no sympathy. Life gon' keep going, you hoes ain't stopping up, you understand? I'm a rapper, but I'm still a gorilla, yeah, you understand? Lady life been feeling kinda creepy. Big bro got so much street credit, get you gone for the freebie. Dirty feet, friendly pussy, slut bucket, bitch, we call it red flag. Bro, you should've known better the way you rock that red flag. I can't believe my eyes when I seen them people put you out in that body bag. Damn, my nigga, I'm talking about a body bag. Fuck me up, I viewed your body, that shit made me gag. You was covered from your head to your ankles. First thing I seen was a motherfucking toe tag. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Dead or alive, I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you.
The story goes as we unfold. Life reveals our purest soul. What we don't know is how we'll grow, but we must show love. Yes, there's reasons that I'm fragile, and I bet you'd like to know there's missing pieces from when I shattered. If you love me, please say so. My heart's like glass, hurt from the past. Passed myself up, that was the hardest task. I know we would care. Tell me that you'll be there for me. My heart's like glass, so let me perhaps. The story goes as love unfolds. Life reveals the hurts from old, and we don't know which way to go. So how can we show love? Yes, there's reasons that are transparent, and I bet you'd like to know why. My mind was clouded, but now I can think. If you love me, please say so. My heart's like
All the way to the motherfucking cliffside, bitch. Oh Lord, thank you for this day. Amen. I beat the odds, even when society said I wasn't gonna make it. Overcome 'em, all them distractions, I had to shake 'em. One man band, no inheritance, I got it off the land. This is that gas, I'm a different type of strand. This that type of smoke, make it tap into your pineal glands. This that type of smoke that can get rid of many mans. This that type of smoke that you can't handle. I put belt the ass, light a nigga ass up like a candle. Secret animosity, they shoot shots but they can't aim. Young niggas dying every day behind fame. Fuck nigga took my brother out the game. I swung on these niggas' neck like $100,000 chain.
Gotta go and get what's mine while I'm serving fine wine. No, I do not need a dime. I'm sitting pretty, doing fine. Hot boy, I'm a hot boy. I'm on top, boy, about to take your spot, boy. I'm a hot boy, I'm a hot boy. I'm on top, boy, about to take your spot, boy. I'm a hot boy, I'm a hot boy. I'm a hot boy, about to take your spot, boy. I'm a hot boy, I'm a hot boy. I'm a hot boy, about to take your spot, boy. It's evil in their eyes, they tryna wear disguise. They know that it's my time, I'm about to get my shine. They looking like a turd, they better mark their word. Cause when it is my time, I'm about to show the word. Came to Dallas, Texas, now your boy is in recovery. Used to smoke a zip a day, now I'm living lovely. Had to get them drugs up and put them boundaries up. Shame versus guilt, all you niggas is a trip. Oh, had to get my mind right, I'm on point this whole tight. If you wanna go and fight, yeah, we can take it back. Please just hold my mic, and I'm about to get it right. Scooter in this motherfucker, turn it up, let's get it right. Hot boy, I'm a hot boy. I'm on top, boy, about to take your spot, boy. I'm a hot boy, I'm a hot boy. I'm on top, boy, about to take your spot, boy. I'm a hot boy, I'm a hot boy. I'm a hot boy, about to take your spot, boy. I'm a hot boy, I'm a hot boy. I'm a hot boy, about to take your spot, boy.
The story goes as we unfold. myself up. That was the hardest task. Handle me with care. Tell me that you'll be there. My heart's like glass, so love me perhaps. My heart's like glass. I lost myself. You taught me to let go and love again. And when I know that I love you, I'll say so. Your heart's like glass. I'll love you perhaps.
Schaefer, that's a hit.
For real. I'm so raw in, uncut, and they know. And I'm blessed from the tip of my head to my toes. This here's the real raw. Let's talk. Show it if you wanna learn some. Sit back and listen to me flow. If it's about some money, let's talk about it. If it can change the world, let's talk about it. If you're an entrepreneur, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If it's about some money, let's talk about it. If it can change the world, let's talk about it. If you're an entrepreneur, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Hickory dickory dot. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 12. It's a new day, it's time to turn it up a notch. Turn it up. Hickory dickory dot. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 12. It's a new day, it's time to turn this bitch up a notch. I was created to be what they can't be. These hoes so worrisome like some gum at the bottom of my feet. Bitch, get the fuck up off of me. Dragging these hoes through the dirt and the concrete. Anything it takes to get a bum bitch up off of me. I told her hating hoe on the TV screen. It's the only way she gon' see me. It's 2024 and it's a new wave. I got 365 days just to get paid. It's time to cut you hating hoes off like a fresh fade. Get to a bag. I can do this shit like Ari, read it. I'm so raw in, uncut, and they know. And I'm blessed from the tip of my head to my toes. This here's the real raw. Let's talk. Show it if you wanna learn some. Sit back and listen to me flow. If it's about some money, let's talk about it. If it can change the world, let's talk about it. If you're an entrepreneur, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If it's about some money, let's talk about it. If it can change the world, let's talk about it. If you're an entrepreneur, let's talk about it. I'm so raw in, uncut, and they know.
All right, y'all. What's going on this Thursday? It's your girl T Pretty Smile with Real Raw Let's Talk podcast. And I don't know, I can't see myself. Can y'all see me? Okay, guys. I don't see y'all. So, y'all, today we got a really big show today. I'm really excited for y'all not to only just meet our guest for the day, but our topic discussion, just overall. Everything is good, y'all, in the hood today. All right. So first, let's start off with giving yourself a round of applause because you made it to Thursday. You made it to Thursday, okay? It's almost Friday, which that's one more day closer to you would not giving a damn. So we made it close to Friday, y'all. Let's give yourself another hand of a round. Go and give you a round of applause. All right, y'all. So if y'all is just tuning in, I'm the host, T Pretty Smile, of Real Raw Let's Talk. And what our show is about over here, our show is about having honest, real, true conversations that matter. Having conversations that they're not having, right? So these range from all different types of things that we're gonna get into today about one of them, which is domestic violence. But before we do that, let's get into some church announcements. Let the church say yeah. That's my favorite line in church. If you ever been in church, that's my favorite line. Okay. So y'all, today with our announcements. All right. So first of all, have y'all seen To Be Tuesday? Okay, your girl did To Be Tuesday. To be Tuesday, this movie, the movie for this week was But I'm Married. Y'all, this movie was so good. Oh, why this movie had me snatch your whole braid out? Let's we ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it. This braid was this y'all this movie was good. This movie was good. Okay, I suggest if you're a married couple, I highly suggest that you watch this movie together. It's a really good story. Not only that, the actors did a superb job. They did a great job telling this story. I can't tell you what it's about, but just know it's gonna have you at a at a what, and you will need your fan because there's some parts on it that's gonna get you hot and bothered. Okay, so where them fans that you gonna need them? Okay, what's up, godson? How we doing, King? Thank you for tuning in tonight. All right, y'all. So let's go on with another announcement. This announcement here is it's a foundation that I'm a part of. It's Inspire Her Foundation. Inspire Her. Okay. Let me tell y'all a little bit about Inspire Her. We are a nonprofit organization, right, that empowers women to transform their lives, and this may be through domestic violence support, through financial literacy, career growth, as well as mental wellness. So if you guys please follow, like, share them. If you would like to donate, you can do that as well. You can follow them on inspireherfoundation.org. You can go with them on like I said, Facebook, Instagram. But definitely check them out. They're a really good foundation and they're always looking for advocates, donation, as well as your time, your support. Let's help these women out here in this world with some resources. Okay. So y'all, I know we getting through a lot of little church announcements today, but that's how it be sometime in church. Sometimes church be long-winded sometimes. But it's all right. We're gonna get through it because we got some good conversation, some good topic today. Now also tonight, we're gonna be doing a giveaway. But we're gonna be doing that later on. So you have to be on the live in order to receive the giveaway. It will be tonight. We're gonna do it about 8:30, maybe not. So you better just stay tuned in, okay? Now also, I know y'all see your girl lips are popping tonight. Y'all, little y'all see y'all check her out. You check her out. Check her it's a number 12. Let me tell you where my lipstick from, y'all. All right. So y'all check and I actually have the owner on in the room with us. So y'all actually gonna meet Miss Shauna Mills in just a few. But y'all make sure y'all check in with my girl. It's at Let me make sure I give y'all the right info because y'all lips need to be like mine. That's all I got to say. Hey, lips need to be like mine. It's gonna be with Glossy. Let me make sure I get it right. Miss Shauna, I may have to have you jump in so you can tell them. Go on and let them know, baby. You can bring her on in. I need them to know why my lips is popping like this.
Hey, hey, hey.
Y'all, this Miss Shauna Mills. Come on, boo boo. You can go and give them the info on why my lips is popping.
So you wearing number 12, and it's from
Is
our Color Vibes collection, okay? And it's from GGK Lipstick Diary. And I think I gave you the link. So
You did, and we will be in the comments with the link, y'all. It's a set of six. The colors are vibrant. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I love a lipstick that is not always gonna get onto my straw. It's not always gonna leave that after on my glass. So I love that, and this lipstick definitely does. It don't do that. Like I don't have a stain when I go to do anything else. And if you are familiar with like Juvie products where you don't have to put a whole lot, that's what this lipstick remind me of because I don't have to go over it several times. I just get it one round and my lips is looking like this. And if you know me, I'm a sucker for lipstick. So,
and it's a
period.
beautiful color on you.
It
I just have on lip oil today because my lips was not lipping today. They was a little ashy. So I just got clear on, okay?
is. But they popping. All right, y'all. Thank you so much, Miss Shauna. I appreciate it. Y'all
Welcome.
make sure the link is below if you would like to get the pack of six. I'm telling you, all the colors are vibrant. They're nice. I have the number 12. It comes in a pack of six, so y'all check out that link so y'all can get y'all some lipstick and be popping like me. T Pretty Smile. All right. So, no other. I do want to remind you guys that every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m., we go live and have a live podcast. So, y'all make sure y'all tune in on Nostalgic Radio. If you're coming from YouTube, if you're coming from Real Raw Let's Talk tonight, I appreciate you all tuning in. And just always tune in 7 to 9 every Thursday because we're giving you hot topics, all right? Now, we got Miss Shauna already in the building, so it's only right that I go ahead and bring her in and introduce her, honey. Okay? So, Miss Shauna Mills, baby, she is an Army wife, CEO of GGK Beauty Co. Glam Gloss Kiss. I don't know why I'm so tongue tied with it.
Okay.
Glam Gloss Kiss. I be so tongue tied. But Glam Gloss Kiss, founder of Her Story, domestic violence advocate, and a journal author. Baby, when you sleep? When you sleep?
I guess when I die, baby, because right now I'm getting no sleep. So
No
when the
sleep.
Lord bring me home, that's when I'm asleep. Right now I'm on a mission.
I heard that, love. I heard that. You said I'm on a mission. I got somewhere to be and things to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm on a mission.
Yes, indeed. Guys, I'm gonna bring in another guest that I have for the night. And we're gonna bring in Miss Nancy, Miss Nancy Abercrombie. Miss Nancy, come on in the room. Miss Nancy ain't coming in the room. She don't want to come in the room just yet.
Oh, okay.
Coming on in,
Okay.
guys. So, hey,
Hi.
Miss Nancy. Y'all, this is Miss Nancy Abercrombie, a safety solution expert, honey. She's an independent damsel pro at Damsel Ninja. Like from selling the stun guns to she's gonna be showing us all kinds of products tonight. So Miss Nancy's coming with our resources and also some valuable information, just as Miss Shauna as well. Shortly after, we're gonna have Jason on as well tonight, guys. Jason is the owner of Nostalgic Radio. He's going to be joining us so we can also get a male perspective on domestic violence. So, y'all, what we're going to do, we're going to start off with our first conversation here. So y'all just bear with me tonight. This conversation is deep to my heart. It's something I've been wanting to talk about when I first started this podcast. It's kind of one of the reasons, along one of the reasons I started the show. Not only I of course of my different conditions, things like that. Being a single mother, yeah, all the trauma. It pushed me to create a show to be able to speak on those things that people were not speaking about when I was going through my trauma. And domestic violence is a deep one that I don't think people really touch on. I don't think that people it's a touchy subject. I'll say
Mhm.
that. Because it is triggering. It is it's a lot, brings up a lot of old things that we have to rehash. A lot of people are embarrassed. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. But I'm glad that you ladies are on the line with me tonight to be able to have that conversation. And I'm glad Jason's gonna be with us here shortly, and he's gonna be able to talk with us as well. But before we get started, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break, you guys. We're gonna tap into a commercial break, and then we're gonna come back so we can have Jason on the line with us, and we're gonna start our first conversation tonight on domestic violence. So I'll be back with y'all shortly.
I live my days in sin. I pray to God within. I know it's time to win. I run it like again. Scooter is the realest. Scooter is the trillest. Get up out your feeling. Need to go get some healing. Cause they really sleeping. I never really was creeping. Somebody call up LA. It's time for a fucking meeting. Tell Hove I need my meeting. They say I'm hit breathing. I got plenty of seasoning. It's time to do some feeding. Chef Scooter is proceeding. Chef Scooter is that nigga. Chef Scooter cook it up. Chef Scooter whip it up. Chef Scooter turn it up. You bout to get it up. Chef Scooter, Chef Scooter, Chef Scooter. Hey. isn't sin. I pray to God within. I know it's time to win. I run it like begin. Scooter is the realest. Scooter is the trillest. Get up out your feeling. Need to go get some healing.
Still tipping on 4 phones, shifting on your hoe, and I whip it like a pro. Still tipping on 4 phones, shifting on your hoe, and I whip it like a pro.
Still tipping, ain't been sipping. When you see me, yes, I'm dripping. I'm so cold up in the kitchen. Better go and get your meat. Make your purges like a kitten. Coming hot, this shit so quickin'. I'ma fry you like some chicken. When I'm rapping, I'm the villain. Pink on blazer, cause it's written. And I always had the vision. Tell Mike Jones I'm coming, get him. I be ballin' like the Pistons. Tell them haters, stop the snitching. Burn desires on the rhythm. Speak the truth, I got the wisdom. Never ever play the victim. I got fofos and I'm tipping. I be thugging, never pimping. I'm from Memphis by the river. I'm the gold but never silver. And I always been a sinner, but God told me I'm a winner. Walk by faith, I'm not a killer. Had to look up in the mirror. I'm the shit, I'm getting bigger. Turn your red, now you a ginger. When I slap, you know I'm slicker. Holding strong, I got the fisher. But I'm never trying to fix you. In the pot, it's time to simmer. Make that sauce, now you a dipper. It's a dolphin, you a flipper. Still tipping, ain't been sipping. When you see me, yes, I'm dripping. I'm so cold up in the kitchen. Better go and get your meat. Make your purges like a kitten. Coming hot, this shit so quickin'. I'ma fry you like some chicken. When I'm rapping, I'm the villain. It's so good, oh, what a pleasure. Off the scale, you cannot measure. I'm so rare, I am a treasure. Cause I got nothing but pressure. Flow so smooth, I am the leather. Get your milk, cause I'm the pepper. I want more, never the lesser. Leave me be, this ain't no gesture. Tic-tac-toe, you playing checkers. I'm the key, cause I'm the bearer. Adam family, Uncle Fester. They some maggots, get the website. Kill the beat, go get the stretcher. And I'm tipping, never stress 'em. I'm the best, it's time to bless 'em. Ain't no cap, I learned my lesson. Still tipping, ain't been sipping. When you see me, yes, I'm dripping. I'm so cold up in the kitchen. Better go and get your meat. Make your purges like a kitten. Coming hot, this shit so quickin'. I'ma fry you like some chicken. When I'm rapping, I'm the villain.
Understand I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Dead or alive, I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. I had to shed tears on this one. Best believe I'ma paint the city red behind this one. Real nigga, why you pull the trigger on this one? A moment of silence for the dead, we lost a real one. Yeah, smoke up in the city like a vapor. Hoe run up on me, I make her me her maker. Big bro, taught me 35 ways to get some paper. And it's middle finger to you motherfucking haters. OG status, since he was a young nigga, say. Real in that field since he was a young nigga, say. Been on go since he was a young nigga. Did them 17 years and he stayed solid like a real nigga. Loyalty, what he stood on. Started fucking with this roach ass sad alley bitch. When he came home, blindsided cause it was his baby mama. Shiesty hoe, can't trust these hoes. Say these hoes will get you killed, bro. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Dead or alive, I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Standing on this whole head like I'm standing on business. Got a drum and I'ma shoot it till it's empty. Since you been gone, I've been feeling kinda empty. I'm just grieving right now, but I'm not looking for no sympathy. Life gon' keep going, you hoes ain't stopping up, you understand? I'm a rapper, but I'm still a gorilla, yeah, you understand? Lady life been feeling kinda creepy. Big bro got so much street credit, get you gone for the freebie. Dirty feet, friendly pussy, slut bucket, bitch, we call it red flag. Big bro, you should've known better the way you rock that red flag. I couldn't believe my eyes when I seen them people put you out in that body bag. Damn, my nigga, I'm talking about a body bag. Fuck me up, I viewed your body. That shit made me gag. You was covered from your head to your ankles. First thing I seen was a motherfucking toe tag. Understand, I'ma be right there for you. Understand, I'ma be right there for you. Dead or alive, I'ma be right there for you. Understand, I'ma be right there for
All right, gang. So, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight with Real Raw Let's Talk. It's your girl T Pretty Smile, and again, thank y'all for tuning in. Tonight is a heavy, heavy topic, but we're definitely gonna keep it real. With um And so yeah, we finna have a good conversation tonight. Tonight I have two wonderful ladies with me, Miss Shauna and Miss Nancy. They're gonna be joining the conversation, and Miss Jason's gonna be with us later on, guys. So we can get also a man perspective as well as a perspective of someone who grew up in the household of domestic violence. I think that's very important as well.
Mhm.
So, I wanted to start tonight off with the definition of domestic violence, right? So, because like we have a question here in the chat, somebody said, "Is child abuse domestic violence?" And so, I'm gonna start just off with what's considered domestic violence, right? So, what's considered domestic violence, or the definition? I will say that the definition of domestic violence, right, is physical, emotional, psychological, financial, and sexual abuse. Now I knew of everything except like the financial part. When I read, I was like, financial? How can that be like how can that be domestic violence abuse? How does that wrap into it? So I want to just talk about all all different things on that definition. So have you guys like so what when it says financial, or does any of those like those the psychological and emotional, does any of those ring a bell to you guys, like as far as in domestic violence or what that looks like?
Financial domestic violence is a controlling type of domestic violence. Your abuser tried to keep you there, so that's kind of like giving him power. And most domestic violence situation, that's why people stay in those domestic violence situations is because they don't have the financial stability to get out of those. And I'm one of them. That's what happened to me. I was financially and emotionally and a little bit of physical in a toxic relationship.
Mm, okay, now it makes sense. So like when a person like they want to leave but can't because let's say the other person may be the breadwinner, or the other person may control the dynamics of where that money goes.
Hmm.
Or
Okay. Okay, putting two and two
he or
together.
she actually watches every penny that you have and questions you about it. There's no way for you to leave. Sometimes people feel like there's no way for them to leave because what are they going to do once they leave? They can't afford food, they can't afford shelter because they have no access to the money. They don't have a credit card, they don't have a debit card, they're not even on the bank accounts sometimes. So they're a stay
That's
at
true.
home parent, maybe, or he or she wants them to stay at home. And so they take all the power of them being able to leave. with that too, sometimes it's I have known people that they get so much money for gas and they go to work and home, and their loved one actually went out to the car to make sure that's all the miles that were driven on the car that day.
Mm,
So
it do
if
get
they
that
have a
way.
mile or two over what they should have, then they have to report why are they driving more. And they may
Mhm.
hide that as, we only have this much money, so I can only fill your car this much, and it takes this much gas for you to get to work and back. But they're really controlling the miles that you're driving in your car too, hiding behind the we can only afford.
Well, baby,
Mm.
we didn't get that far. We didn't get that far.
Some said nah, 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 nah. It didn't go like that, but you know.
You know, it was
Yeah,
it was more than
I knew someone who their husband actually went out to the car to see the mileage on the car every
Now
day.
I have seen some Lifetime movies like that. I didn't know no one in particular that happened to, but I have seen like Lifetime movies where like they would check out the mileage this person went to, but it wasn't more so they didn't try to cover it up with the finances part. They were more
Mhm.
so trying to see if they were trying to escape, where else, who were they talking to, stuff like that. Like going places they had no business going. Like you said, the whole control aspect of it.
mine was
So.
more I was pregnant. I mean I would work, but when I had got pregnant, my pregnancy was like not real difficult, but enough where I couldn't work because I couldn't stand up for long periods of time, which made him the breadwinner. Now I was getting money, like from like unemployment, but it wasn't enough to be able to support me, and I'm about to have a child, right? So it caused me to stay in that relationship longer because I'm like, okay, how can at that point
Mhm.
you think of not just think about you, but you think about your child. But at the same time, that's your motivation to leave because you don't want your child to see what you're going through, and you don't want them to think that's love because we tend to share that away from our kids anyway. And when they get older, they end up becoming in those type of relationships, and they don't have the tools to be able to leave. So it's a real difficult situation, especially when you are financially being abused and constantly being watched and constantly knowing that in your mind you're not able to support yourself and that in your child. So okay, if I stay, then I know I'll be taken care of. But is that a real reason to stay? Because when you're in that situation, that's all that you know at that moment.
Mhm. Mhm. And I think there's a lot of myths that come along with domestic violence.
Absolutely.
When I experienced it was over maybe over 12 years ago. And I don't even want to say experience because I think that trauma always is going to follow you
Hmm.
into some aspect, whether it's mental, you know what I mean? And we'll get into those like triggers and things like that later, but I think some part of that is always gonna follow you. But there's a lot of myths that come along with it. And a myth that people always think is like, oh, they stay because you love them, or I couldn't be me.
Ooh,
And
that's the
when
one
I've
I
shared
hate.
my story, a lot of times people are quick to say that on their toes, oh, couldn't be me. Well, it could be you. And for those who always say that, that's how it starts. It don't start like day one, somebody just beating on your ass, just to be frank. It don't
Right.
start like that. And I'll use my story for example. I was with someone and they were a great person at first, right? There was no red flags, everything was great. This person ended up losing their father while we were together. And after they lost their father, they end up doing drugs. So, and I didn't find out about the drugs until later. So by this time I found out about the drugs, and this is when like the hidden start. And um, I don't think a lot of people always say it couldn't be me. You don't never see it coming.
Mm-mm.
And like I said, a lot of people think that you stay because, oh, you in love. I don't think I for me it wasn't that case. No, I think that's a very big myth that people think that they stay because you love them. That's not the case. Maybe you scared. A lot of people are scared to leave because they're gonna turn into ape shit, just to be honest. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
you gotta think about it. Okay, if I could just leave, this person knows where my mother stay, my parents stay. They know where my kids are at, can pick them up out of school. They know where your whereabouts are. They know where you're going to be, know where your job at. Like you said about the financial,
Yeah.
Shauna. Sometimes they have control over the financial, in the financial part. So it's a lot that people don't think about in the aspect of domestic violence when they say it couldn't be me. They don't think about all that come that why that person is at that point or what has happened.
Yeah, I think when people look at people that's been through domestic violence or still in that situation, they think that it's so easy to walk away when it's so much things that's tied into that relationship that you're in. And it's not the
Mm-hmm.
fact if we're scared to leave, it's the fact that in our mindset, we need a plan. We need to execute that plan. We need to figure out, okay, from point A to B, right? So when we talk to people or when we confide in a person, they always say, "Girl, I would have been left," or "It couldn't be me," or "Why did you stay that long?" And
Mm-hmm.
what people don't realize when you say that to someone, you even make them want to stay longer. Because what you are doing is saying basically, okay, so if I leave and you're saying this, everybody else gonna look at me like that. So what type of support would I have when I leave?
Like,
If one person said that, I know everybody gonna say that. And that is not the fact. The fact is we need a plan to leave. We need that. We
Mm-hmm.
need to know if we're going to have that support when we step out because some people don't want to leave because of the lack of support, because of the judgment, because of the way you look at us. So
Yeah.
it's just so much that ties into domestic violence and the way that we think when we are in those situations that people truly don't understand until they actually experience it. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
well, and don't you think sometimes too, it's not just the plan to leave. It's
mhm,
after you leave, where do you go?
there
And
you
how
go.
crazy is this person already? It's almost the devil you know to the devil you don't know. Because how many stories have we heard of
Mm.
after they leave, that person becomes this craziness that's the stalker that stalks not only you but everybody else
Oh,
in
he
your
moved
life.
my situation and actually followed me back to our hometown. Okay.
Oh
So
wow.
thinking that okay, I'm moving back. Maybe she'll take me back. No, bro, I'm not. I'm once I had the mindset to leave, and what really pushed me to leave is because my daughter at the time was like 8 or 9 months, and I was that was the time I was like, I'm sick of this shit. This cannot be life. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta really know when it is time and when you are fed up. And when my
Absolutely.
daughter crawled over there to me and she wiped my tears, she was only 8 or 9 months. And that right there let me know she know what's going on, right? So
Mhm.
that was the motivation for me to even to leave at that time because now I have this daughter and I don't want to stay because I don't want her to be treated the way I've been treated. So
Exactly.
I didn't even care. I had the parents to let me come back home, and everybody don't have that support where they can come back home. So, us being a domestic violence advocate, we have to give them that push and be that motivation for them to even really think about finding leaving and not going back.
Shauna, don't you find too that sometimes people don't leave because they don't want to move back home because now they bring this trouble with them into their family where maybe their family's not being touched by it while you're going through it. But
And I,
once
I
you
think
move
that's
back
what
in with your family, now here you have brought this person back in and he's going to, or she. they are going to now, it's a whole family situation. People sometimes have to, I think that's a consideration sometimes
And
too.
I was about to ask you ladies that. That's why I came on. I think that the biggest part of that is that reason that you said, Nancy, because I remember my mom, my sister's dad used to whoop on her. And one day, me and my brother had enough, and we whooped on him. And when I asked my mom, like, why don't you leave? Like, what's going on? This and that. It was because where did she have to go? Right? It was
Yeah.
where am I going? I'll tell you guys a story that just happened maybe a couple years ago between me and my brother. Me and my brother are only 9 months apart, so we're real close. My sister is 7 years younger than us. My younger sister, because I have an older sister by me, my mom, me, my brother, and my older sister have the same dad. My younger sister don't. Um, so what happened was I went to Kansas City for my, let's say, 31st birthday because
Mhm.
that's where I'm from. I born in Kansas City, grew up in Nebraska. I go there to visit my mom because she planned a party, knowing that I was going to Nebraska to have a bigger party because I'm still kind of young. I'm about to throw it out. So what happened was I go see my sister. She has an eye patch over her eye. So I'm like, what is going on? Everybody in my family kept up this huge lie while I was there.
Mm.
My sister told me this lie about, oh, me and my husband was in a bar and we got into a pool fight and the guy hit me over the face and him and David got into it. So I'm like, okay. But I asked other people and they all told the same lie. But a
Mm.
week after I left to go back to Dallas, my I get a phone call. My older brother's now locked up because somebody came out and told the truth. And he done beat my sister's boyfriend to a pulp. But here's the question I have for both of you guys. And this is just something that I'm asking, not because I see nobody as being a victim, but what I told my younger sister after we handled that problem was if you stay, don't call us no more because now you're putting us in a situation to where our livelihood is going to, how many from domestic violence when people don't choose to leave, we see people going to jail behind that decision that shouldn't have had anything to do with it if you would have made a decision to go,
Man, that's a
right?
hard one.
That is like
Ooh,
a real a lot of questions in one.
Yep,
Like
It's like that was
it
really
was.
heavy.
Yeah, I had a lot.
it's a lot. And you touched on something when you said if that person goes back to that situation, don't call us. And so that's another reason why people go back.
mm-hmm.
People that's been through domestic violence go back to their abuser 9 times before they actually leave. Now,
Mhm.
far as when you do decide to leave and you go back home, for me, my mom kind of knew what was going on, but I hid it from her. But she kind of picked up when she came to visit us, and she just was like, "Just come home." You know, my mom was always that type of person where if I got a place to stay, you got a
You
place.
got a
You got a place.
place
Yeah.
to
But
stay.
as
Yeah.
Nancy said and asked, my mentality was, I'm too damn grown to go back home, and I got a baby. You know what I mean? Because I feel like this.
That
Once
was
you
me.
out, it's not the same when you go back. No matter what situation you in. That was my mentality, right? So I'm like, I'm grown as hell. I got a newborn baby. I'm a mama. I was like, why would I go back home? But I had to stop and think. It's not just about me. I have a
Exactly.
daughter, so
And that statement right there is the reason why my sister left. Because once she had her daughter, she was like, we're not doing this.
yes,
And that's what I commend you on, that you looked at the child because now she living a great life, great new husband. She's loving it. But she was like, I had to make a decision. And we have talks about this all the time.
yeah. And
Yeah.
another reason why some people, I come from a household where my mom and dad been married 50 years. They don't know what a divorce look like, and whatever they've been through, baby, they worked it out. But For me, my mom couldn't give me the support that she could give me, but she made sure that my feelings were valid, and she made sure that I was
Yes.
covered in prayer. She provided to me what she could do and support me in what she can. So people have to understand that support looks different. I don't care if you are not financial, live in your car. Look up resources. It's thousands of resources, but what's wrong with that is people don't talk about the resources. People
Mm-mm.
don't talk about the
Yep.
resources. People don't talk about shelters. People don't talk about, some people are scared because they don't have a lot of shelters out here for kids and mothers to go to. Sometimes it just can be a woman's shelter. So that's where we come in as domestic violence advocate, is to supply them with these resources so they are able to leave. And if they can't go back home, it's other places to go. And that's where our job fall in the lines at.
Awesome. I got a resource to add to that too because we're creating a women's home and community in Fort Worth, Stop Six area, for both domestic violence, human sex trafficking, which we know that's at an all time high right now.
Yes.
Um, it's a lot of things that we're working with the city council members to do, but then we found out, and I got to be real, sometimes people don't leave because the same people they entrust themselves in talking to are looking for help are the same people pushing them back into
Back
that same
into it.
Mhm.
community.
You know,
Yes,
how
I
many
agree.
times have we
You
heard
said
that
pushing it back
story?
into it.
Yes, into that same community. It's a lot of
Yep.
times people have the tendency to run to the people that we call of authority that are also the same domestic violence person that does it to their wives. So therefore they're talking to them as if you need to go back home. He loves you. Let's talk about it. And guys, I see it from both sides, the women, but I see it from a real big size as we were talking in the green room, the men. Because men don't talk
Hmm.
about it. Men will take the
Right.
abuse. They will lose their jobs. I tell my story all the time. I've been on the streets on my own since I was 13. Met somebody when I was 16. She was 21. We bought a house together. We did this. My friends, as tough as I was fighting everybody on the streets, this girl could hit me. She broke my ribs with a hoe, made me lose, well, like a garden hoe, made me lose my job. The next day was like, I'm so sorry, I love you. But they, like y'all said, you talk about it in a sense of they come back showering you with, oh, I love you, and let me give you this, and let me do this.
Narcissist,
So you kind of be like, oh, right.
manipulator.
So that's when I first discovered the narcissistic behavior, like that really is, and how that really works and how people use that to manipulate you. I know it's strong in guys, but ladies, I know I'm the only guy on here. Don't beat me up, but women are that much more of a narcissist than men are.
And I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Don't think that a woman is not cannot be just as bad as a man. My husband went through it. I seen it. I witnessed it, and I'm like, oh my god. And I think women that does that, and please, I hope don't no one take this to heart, but I think women prey on good men because they have some controlling issues going on with them or some insecurity issues. And what I learned about
Mm.
violence is that most people that get in relationships have a background or lack of insecurity or the lack of relationships with their parents, so they find that void within their marriage. So, yes, Jason, is you
Oh
agree?
no, no, I wasn't raising. No, no, I'm just saying. T Pretty know what I'm saying. Sorry. Go ahead, keep
Okay.
going.
I'm sorry, I'm froze. I'm trying to understand. Hold on.
But
It's
you
No,
know
you're
what?
figuring
I
me
good.
out.
think too that men don't come forward because then they're considered unmanly.
Mm,
And a lot of times when men report, they're actually laughed at or they're made fun of, which is we've got to get away from this and stop the victim blaming
yeah.
and realize that anyone at any time can be abused. It can
Yes.
be in a
Absolutely.
domestic, and it's not just women. But I think it's harder sometimes for men too to get out, because where do you go? Most domestic violence homes are centered for women because that's who it happens to the most statistically. So I
So,
used to be on the charity board of a single father. It was called the Father's Show, and we worked with single fathers. But we're seeing that more and more, that the women are walking away, and now the man has the kids. And what does he do?
hey,
How
so
does
we had that
he support?
so we had that conversation
Mm.
on my show on Monday. We had this whole conversation because I put up a video. T Pretty would tell you guys I'm all about pushing the buttons on conversation, right? Um, and a guy video that I grabbed off this guy that I follow. He said one of the biggest things that I ever heard rang out in 2025. He said, "Is it illegal to be a father in America?" And
Mm.
every woman got
Mm,
on my post and was like, "That's a joke. It's a lie." Da da da. But let me give you guys some facts. Other than the domestic violence and we keeping our secrets, let's talk about this. Men sometimes stay in situations because they know that if they leave, they will not be able to see their kids on the term that they want to see them on. And when I say this, is because the law states that you are the mom, and once you give birth, you have primary rights until a man goes to court to get those rights given to him.
Mama's babies,
And
daddy.
that's
Mama's babies, daddy
ex-
Maybe.
babies. That's
until
the
the
truth.
judge
You know
says that
what?
the dad
I
has
agree with you,
rights.
Jason. I agree with you totally 110% because I have seen it through my husband, where my husband is a good father, and when we're military too. So we moved from Arizona to here in Texas. But we were going to bring his kids with us, and the mom, I don't know how she did it, went to the courthouse, said this big lie to keep
Cry
the
wolf.
kids from us,
mhm.
right? And I'm like, you got this good
Mhm.
man that's a father to your kid, and that boy needs his father, and you're going to keep. And she did it later on when they got older, which they're older now, and they come to understand everything that was going on. She apologized. She was like, and spiteful. She was being spiteful because of he was married now. He went to the military, made a better life for his family, and that's what she would say is
Yeah.
that the life that you're living, you have my life, but now I'm going to make your life a living hell.
And
Women
that's
do.
what how a
And
lot
I
of
can
women look at it too.
Yes, they
Yeah.
they
Uh,
they
and I
do.
can tell y'all that
Now,
to be true.
me as being the
Yeah.
domestic violence survivor, I never, much as I wanted to, and I hated him, wanted to keep my daughter away of her father. I never did. He didn't pay child support. He kept leaving to different states, wouldn't call for months. And guess what I did? I still, because I didn't want my daughter to think, I wanted her to have her own version of her father, not because of what I said. And when she got older, my daughter finally told me, Dad, I didn't know what a daddy was until you married Daddy Kevin. Do you know how
hurting.
bad that made me feel? I felt like I was a bad parent because
Right.
her sperm donor, that's what I call him, was bullying her. So guess what? I didn't even have to badmouth him because he did it on his own. He told on
Yeah.
himself.
Right.
But I
And
totally
most narcissists will.
110% with
I
Jason.
thought
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Most
my brother could not get his daughter, because at the time, thank God things have changed a little bit, but at the time, the courts, because she was a little girl, felt like she should be with her mom. Her mom was the abuser.
Mm.
Now she didn't abuse my brother, but she abused her daughter. And it took a long time. It took till she was 12 till she could stand in front of the judge and say, if the woman fell off the earth, I'd be fine. I want to live with my
Right.
dad. But
And
it
you
took
know how many
that.
cases, Nancy, you know how many cases of those I hear about? I have little
Oh,
girls in my group homes right now who the mom was the abuser. The dad took her to divorce her, took her to court. The mom took half of everything he had and still got to keep the child.
yeah.
We talk about these things as if they're just on TV or mythical, but these are real things that are happening because our
Real
court system is set
situation.
up to say that the dad will never be the most prominent parent unless you
Yeah.
can.
Mm-hmm.
We literally have to prove that you guys are bad
And
Right. And all
I
we
in
have
can
to
order
do
to
is
be
I
witness.
want
able
to
say
to.
you
piggyback
are.
on. Yeah, I want
Okay.
to piggyback on what Shauna said and Jason said. Shauna, I'm so glad we having this conversation because it's coming around full circle.
Mm,
Because I thought what I was going through was like, man, don't know, ain't nobody else going through, like, am I making right decisions? This ain't what anybody else going through this. And what you just spoke of, I'm going through that, and I'm, like with having to distance my daughter. I want to always want my daughter to know her father. She knows him, and have that relationship. Make her own judgment. Make her own call. Right.
yeah.
And like my mom did me. And truth is gonna prevail. Truth gonna come out. It's gonna, and you gonna see. I'm not the bad one. It's him. It's.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter came to me the other day, and she was like, I don't want to talk to my dad no more. And I was like, "You sure?" She was like, "Yeah." And it was because, like you said, the bullying. It became, I can't control mom, so I'm trying to control you, and
Yep.
that way I can find out information through you about her. It's a whole pinpoint game,
Absolutely.
and for her to say that she didn't want to be bullied, and these are words she used. She didn't want to be bullied. She didn't want the stress. And this is, I had to put my daughter in therapy. For things like, so it's like I'm so glad we're having this conversation, because to know that I'm not the only one experiencing on that level. You know what I mean? Because I was
Hmm.
like, domestic violence happened, but to be on that level where the daughter or the child don't even want to deal with the parent, and you want to still make that possible.
Nice.
You
Yeah.
want to still, you can have that relationship, but you ruining that yourself.
Hmm.
And
So
it's
I'm glad we're
Exactly.
having this
hard.
conversation.
It's hard as a parent to make your kids go through that because you don't want, because what me and her dad went through, I don't want her to think it has anything to do with her.
To do
Right.
with her.
Much as
Yeah.
I
Right.
wanted to keep her away, I had to put my trauma and my triggers and my feelings from this man aside so my daughter can see for herself from her eyes
Mm-hmm.
what her mom went through. But in all reality, and my daughter couldn't speak up for herself because we were like when everything was said and done, I think she was like two. Like I had to wait 6 months to get a divorce. I had to wait another 6 months because it was a child involved in it. Like it's so much stuff that goes with separating yourself from a toxic relationship. And
Yep.
when
Yep.
she got older, she was like, he bullied me. He would wait till grandma goes to work and make us do the dishes. You're 2 years old. Why is he making you do dishes at 2 years old? And at that point, I know I wasn't the bad mom because I thought I was doing it right, but it did something to me. Like it made me feel weak because I felt like I was allowing this to happen because I'm still letting you see your child. Knowing I know what type of
Right.
man you are, but I
Right.
want my daughter to see it. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
I do.
Don't you think that a lot of that has to do with too? We need to open up those communications with our children and make them feel empowered and safe to tell us anything. So if you have to get therapy to learn how to react to how your children are talking to you, that's where a lot, like my niece, her mother physically abused her. She didn't tell us, and we didn't know the right questions to ask because she didn't know that all mothers didn't lock you in the closet on Friday night so they could go out with their friends.
Oh wow.
You know, we she didn't know because she didn't know any better. So I think we also, as we're growing as the victim of domestic violence, as you're growing to get away and stuff, you really have to think, if there's children involved, how do you open those lines of communication to make sure that they feel okay with coming to you? Because he or she may be on the other end telling you, now don't tell your mom because this is a secret, just our secret. It's like they're grooming. Your children can be
Mm-hmm.
groomed by their other parent. So, how do we break those chains of them being groomed so that we make sure that they're safe and we don't have to step in?
So me and my
I,
daughter
Commercial.
is best of friends.
Commercial.
You know, back
okay.
in the day, we were taught to, I am not your friend. I'm your mother first. That no
Thank
longer
Yep.
works.
you. Thank you.
That no longer works in the world that we are living in now. Your kids, you can be both, just set boundaries because your body language when your kids come talk to you, pay attention to it because
Hmm.
that's what turn your kids around because they feel like, oh, she's a mom, she's not gonna understand from a kid's perspective. I leave the door open. I don't care what it is for my daughter to be able to talk to me. I didn't lie to my daughter. I kept it 110% with her. I didn't keep nothing from my daughter. I don't keep men beating on women and women beating on men. I tell her the truth because now these kids are growing up getting into these
Hmm.
relationships because we're doing shit behind closed doors because we don't want our kids to see it, but
That's it
we
right
think we're
there.
protecting them, but we're not. We're
Yeah.
not. We're not giving them the tools that they need when they get older. And guess what? They're in these relationships in high school.
Yeah.
They're in these
Yep.
relationships
Yes.
in high school thinking that
Yes.
it's cute for a man to say, you can't wear that. Go take that off. That's not cute.
That ain't
That's
girl.
not cute.
And
See.
because he calls you
Hey,
every night wanting to
hey
know where
guys.
you are does not mean he loves you
Hold
Exactly.
on, y'all. Hold on. I
Hey
or
know. I
she
guys. So I
loves
know.
wanna.
him.
We.
So guys, I wanna read this question for you guys. So Miss Shamika Langley, thanks for tuning in. Her question was, how honest is too honest? Do we tell the kids what we experience or with their other parent or not? So that's
Yes.
the
Oh,
question she had.
Be
Mika,
all
that's
the
a
way
good
honest.
one.
Yes. Tell your kids if your child is old enough to understand. Tell your kid. Be honest with your kids. Can't nobody tell you how to raise your kids. A lot of people disagree how I raised my daughter. A lot of people disagree. Oh, she be going to every place with you and things like that. I don't care because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we have to come out of closed doors and not just show our kids the good part of the relationship. We have to show them every angle so they can have the tools that they need when they get older to
Mhm.
understand the red flags in people.
Absolutely.
So be
Absolutely.
all the way honest. There's no such thing as
Hey,
being too honest.
before we finish this, Shauna, I'm sorry, guys, but we got to go to commercial break. That's what we were trying to do. We're going to take a commercial break, guys, just to give our audience this is great topics, great everything. We just got to give them a little bit of, as you guys know, a mind break because some people can get overwhelmed. All right.
Mhm.
So, guys, come back to Real Talk, Real Raw Talk. She'll be back when we come on.
I live my days in sin. I pray to God within. I know it's time to win. I run it like again. Scooter is the realest. Scooter is the trillest. Get up out your feeling. Need to go get some healing. Cause they really sleeping. I never really was creeping. Somebody call up LA. It's time for a fucking meeting. Tell Hove I need my meeting. They say I'm hit breathing. I got plenty of seedling. It's time to do some feeding. Chef Scooter is proceeding. Chef Scooter is that nigga. Chef Scooter cook it up. Chef Scooter whip it up. Chef Scooter turn it up. Chef Scooter, Chef Scooter, Chef Scooter. Hey. I live my days in sin. I pray to God within. I know it's time to win. I run it like begin. Scooter is the realest. Scooter is the trillest. Get up out your feeling. Need to go get some healing.
Still tipping on 4-4, shifting on your hoe, and I whip it like a pro. Still tipping on 4-4, shifting on your hoe, and I whip it like a pro.
Still tipping, ain't been sipping. When you see me, yes, I'm dripping. I'm so cold up in the kitchen. Better go and get your meat. Make your purges like a kitten. Coming hot, this shit so.
Understand I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Dead or alive, I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. I had to shed tears on this one. Best believe I'ma paint the city red behind this one. Real nigga, why you pull a trigger on this one? A moment of silence for the dead, we lost a real one. Yeah, smoke up in the city like a vapor. Hold one up on me, I may cut me her maker. Big bro, taught me 35 ways to get some paper. And it's middle finger to you motherfucking haters. OG status, since he was a young nigga, say. Real in that field since he was a young nigga, say. Been on go since he was a young nigga. Did them 17 years and he stayed solid like a real nigga. Loyalty, what he stood on. Started fucking with this roach ass sad alley bitch. When he came home, blindsided cause it was his baby mama. Shiesty hoe, can't trust these hoes. Say these hoes will get you killed, bro. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Dead or alive, I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Standing on this whole head like I'm standing on business. Got a 30 round drum and I'ma shoot it till it's empty. Since you been gone, I've been feeling kinda empty. I'm just grieving right now, but I'm not looking for no sympathy. Life gon' keep going, you hoes ain't stopping up, you understand? I'm a rapper, but I'm still a gorilla, yeah, you understand? Lady life been feeling kinda creepy. Big bro got so much street credit, get you gone for the freebie. Dirty feet, friendly pussy, slut bucket, bitch, we call it red flag. Bro, you should've known better the way you rock that red flag. I couldn't believe my eyes when I seen them people put you out in that body bag. Damn, my nigga, I'm talking about a body bag. Fuck me up, I viewed your body. That shit made me gag. You was covered from your head to your ankles. First thing I seen was a motherfucking toe tag. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you. Dead or alive, I'ma be right there for you. Understand I'ma be right there for you.
The story goes as we unfold. Life reveals our purest soul. What we don't know
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on pause.
We're live.
What's up, King? Y'all, we are back. It's your host, T Pretty Smile, and we are back following up our conversation on domestic violence, understanding, impacting, and providing resources tonight. And again, as you saw earlier, I have our lovely guests, Miss Shauna and Miss Nancy. We have Jason in the building as well. And where we left off earlier, I want to come back to answer, to piggyback on you guys' answer with Shamika Langley. So Shamika's question was, how honest is too honest? Do we tell the kids what we experience in their other parent or no, with their other parent or no? And so with that, it made me think about a comment that Jason stated earlier about having, you have the family kind of encouraged to stay with that person, or the people you're telling, they're telling you didn't stay with them. And I
Mhm.
think, Nancy, this also go back to what you were saying too. I think that right now a lot of things we have to break, some curses, right? Some generational things, some generational patterns, right?
Right. Right.
Because I have a lot of older generation wants to used to always tell them, like, the couple, stay together, y'all make it through whatever, it's just a rough patch, he going through something, and they would encourage them to stay together regardless of the domestic violence going on. And I think that when you water that down, it turns into, oh, we got to keep that hush hush, we got to keep it in the house, don't tell nobody that's going on with you. Then it watered down to, oh, it comes embarrassing. So I think it's a lot of barriers that have to be also broken, um so we can create that safe space so people can have those conversations.
And you know what? Being honest with your child does not mean you set your child down and say, your father sexually abused me and this is what happened. Like, so depending on the age of the child and what they're asking, I have learned that children hear what they are prepared to hear at the age that they're at. So just sitting down and saying, there was abuse in our situation. Does your child understand what abuse is? You don't have to get into details when they're 7 or 8, like, but you can tell them a little bit or whatever. It's up to you and your child. What can your child handle? But then making sure that you don't, and Jason brought this up in the break, making sure that you don't make your child feel what you're feeling. And that may be sitting down with a therapist in between, so that you can have somebody that doesn't have a dog in the fight, basically, that can help lead that conversation in a good, healthy way. I don't think you should ever lie to your children because it will come back to you. And now you're a liar.
I I would say it was easy in that state and journey of my life.
Hmm.
It was easy for me because he did the damage. I didn't, and so my daughter. I'm gonna tell you. I don't know, depending on how old your kids are, y'all are going through this toxic relationship because your kids see things.
Oh,
Your kids
yes.
see everything. It don't matter how old they are because, like I said, my
Mhm.
daughter was 8 or 9 months. What 8 or 9 months crawls to you and wipe those tears away? Like, your if you think that your kids is not paying attention, you got another thing coming. They pay
Yep.
attention to everything. They see everything. They hear everything.
They
They
absorb
know.
everything.
They absorb everything. So when they get older, it's up to you. My
Yeah.
daughter, I think she started noticing. She was 7 or 8 when she told me I didn't know what a daddy was until Daddy Camden came in my life. That's when we had
Yeah.
that talk. And from there on out, I became her friend and her mom because I feel like this. When your kids get older, especially teenagers, and they start going to school, you have to think that they're going to be around other kids that went through other things in their household, right?
Yeah,
So they're going to listen to what their peers say. But as a mother and as a parent period, sorry, as a parent period, we have to learn to unlearn the things that we were taught growing up. First and foremost. And that right there,
Absolutely.
once you do that, we have to learn how to create a safe space for our kids to be able to talk to
absolutely.
us in their most vulnerable state. But
And
first,
that's where I think we fail. I think that's where we fail in the black community.
yes,
And I'm saying that specifically because in our community, we tell our kids, and I remember growing up that hey, whatever happens in our house, you it stay in our house.
stay
So
out of
Hmm.
my
you felt like if
business.
you went out and talked about what happened, yep. And so with my boys and with I have two adopted daughters here, I tell them if anybody is doing anything to you, then we need to know about it. But what we mean by don't share our business in the house is nobody needs to know our day to day. Nobody needs to know
Right.
that we went and bought a new TV. That's where our parents kind of messed up back in the 2000s.
They didn't
They just said
explain
don't
that to
say
us.
nothing.
It was
Right.
whatever
Yep.
goes
So
on in this household, shut your mouth. You don't go back and say
So I
nothing.
want to, and I only want to clarify that because you said something about watching what you talk about. And I'm like, no, you want them to talk, but we have to be the people that make the clarification that says, hey, when I tell you this, this is what I mean. But I still mean, why don't I tell you, don't tell everybody what we have in our house? Because there's people out there that want to break in our house.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
if somebody's messing with you, touching you, doing this, doing that, got like women, sorry, I say guys a lot, sorry, but I mean, you know what I mean, so I apologize. But when I say this, what I really mean and I'm when I talk about is I try to talk to a lot of the kids to understand that hey, we are not perfect. We try the best that we can. We
Hmm.
make mistakes, we do things wrong, but trust and believe our every move is to make sure that you're okay. Whether you like us or not, we as parents, let's be honest. I know you said we should try to be their best person and but let's be honest. I would tell my kids in a minute, I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I don't want to play with you. That doesn't mean I don't want to do this. I tell all of them, all six of them right now. My boys are
No,
grown, and
I
I still
do.
tell them I'm still not your friend.
I tell them that I'm not your friend, but let's, like you said, Jason, let's clarify that. That means like when you come home and you be telling me and y'all be cussing and I know you be cussing and then you come home and then you be cussing. No, that's not what we doing. But I'm
Hey,
not your friend. Or you
I'm
think you
40 something.
growner than
I'm
I am
49, and I
and
can.
you think you can overtalk me. It's a boundary.
Then we got a problem. Yeah,
Yes. You
and
Okay,
have
that's
well,
to
what I
I'm going to
mean
tell
create
you, it's
by
not
when you.
just in
boundaries.
your community that you were told not to tell what happens in your house. Because
No, I understand that,
I'm from
but
the South
what
and
I
my
was
mother was very Southern, and you don't talk about what
see,
happens in your home outside your home.
Mhm.
But
and
what
I'm not
I
saying that
think
it
it's,
was, but I go ahead. I'm sorry, Nancy.
I was just going to say, my dad was a teacher. And there were numerous times when I would wake up, he was a VOAG teacher, and I didn't understand this as a child that I feel like they should have been more open with me. There were times, especially on the weekends, that I would wake up and there would be some of we called them his boys because they were in FFA and they were in VOAG, but they would be asleep on our couch or he would have to go and get them. Now that I'm grown, I understand they were drunk and they needed a ride home, or they were being beat. and he went to get them from wherever they left their house. You know, there was a lot of situations that people came to my dad because he was a safe place. I
Yes.
never knew that part until I until it was later. So when my niece, we actually learned that her mother was whipping her with a belt. She whipped her one time with a belt so bad. Her name was Joyce, and she was a cowgirl that she left the J and the O on my niece's back from her belt.
Oh
I didn't
wow.
know that kind of thing happened until I think I was 17 or 18 when that happened to my niece. I didn't know that people beat their kids because
Wow.
in our family,
Man,
kids were loved and cared for. So I feel
man, I
like
wish.
sometimes opening up those conversations in
Mhm.
a way that your child is ready for will open up where they feel comfortable coming to you. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, it may not be your child who they're coming to you about. It may be their best friend that just has told them something and they have no idea what to do or how to help their friend. You have to be that safe place for them to come to, you
So
know?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with what Jason said about I would tell your kids. I still do. So let me just say that, Jason, you are right. I still tell my child I ain't your friend on things that doesn't matter. But when things that matter and we're creating that safe space, I put away the mom hat and I'm the supporter. Maybe I
Yeah.
should say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's a I think that's a
I
better word because that's
am.
what it
I'm
sounds like
still.
you really are.
It's my daughter
Yeah.
respects the boundaries. She knows the mama hat. She knows the friend hat. Like, mom, I really need to talk to you. I make sure that whatever my body language is correct, so she can feel comfortable. Because you got to understand, your face expression, your body language speaks volumes before you even say anything.
Yes.
And if you're
Very
not
Absolutely.
much
that
so.
person that is approachable, guess what? You have
Yeah.
already set somebody back of not being able to create that safe space. So, what I
Absolutely.
mean by
Absolutely.
that is creating a safe space for my daughter after being in a toxic relationship and getting therapy was my main concern, and all my kids, because all my kids went through trauma. You know, we are a blended family, and his kids, like my son, he attached himself to me, but the daughter, baby, she hated me. Okay, like it was until she got 14 years old. She said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. She said, I'm sorry. She said, you was the best thing that ever happened to my dad. This is the happiest I ever.
Oh.
And now we best friends. And that's what I mean is that what I learned in therapy is it's not what you say that set the tone, but it's how you
Absolutely.
can be approachable that set the tone. And every child is different, right?
Yeah.
So, Jason, yes, I totally agree with you. That's where that comes in, that we have to understand when we say we are our kids' friends or something in that matter, just make sure,
I
set
just
the
say the
rules. You
boundaries
know what I
because
mean? The
I
boundaries.
say the boundaries because
Yeah.
we live in a world today where nobody's setting those because we're so worried
Yes,
about how they feel.
yes,
We live in a world today where everybody is fighting and screaming and are my kid. I'm listen. One of the things that I'm adamant about when it comes to children is that discipline is needed. And I'm not
Yes.
talking child abuse. You said about your niece and her mom leaving a belt. Man, let me tell y'all a story. You remember? I know Nancy. You might. I don't know how old you are, Shauna, but I know she's kind of up in my range, right? So,
I'm
You're so cute.
um,
party
I could have given birth to you, Jason.
but oh, you probably could have. But you know the lines when they didn't have when they had the when in Kansas City where I'm from, Nebraska where I grew up, we had the steel rope lines, the belt, the ropes
Hmm.
that you hang your clothes out on. Like we
Yeah.
had those growing up. And one time I kind of made my mom mad. She tore down one of those ropes and she whooped me with it. And because I was a runner, I had webs all over my body. This is a true story. And she came back with a bunch of Vaseline, like, don't go outside because I don't want nobody to see it, da da da. Well, I wasn't that typical child that listened to what nobody said because I've always had a mind of my own, right? So That's what kept me in trouble a lot of the times. But because I was that person, I would typically go. I went outside one time and I somebody saw the webs and they called CPS on my mom. And in the midst of calling CPS, my mom went to jail. They let her out, whatever. We went to my grandma's, and my mom came back and beat the woman up. But my whole point of saying that is that that
Wow.
is what I call what the law was put for to protect, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the world today has misinterpreted that law to
Mm-hmm.
mean don't whoop your kids at all.
Yep.
Because I
Right.
am that dad that whoop my kids. Man, I remember my oldest son being 3. And if he touched something, I tore that little hand up. Now that where he's older, we have great conversations. And I try to explain to people in that realm from 0 to 5, when they start walking and understanding at 1 and 2, if you just pop them, you won't have a problem with them at 14,
Mhm.
15, 16, because it's what we used to call back in our days. I fear my mom, not because I didn't think I could whoop her, but she had instilled that fear in me because when I was 2, she popped me, whooped me. So I'm looking at her even to this day. I don't cuss in front of my mom. Even to this day, I walk, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. And
But
I'm
Jason,
like,
I don't think
where did
that I
we?
don't. I hear what you're saying, and I do agree because I grew up in that type of household. But I also grew up in a household where things were more timid, where we did. My dad stopped was like, "Y'all old enough. Y'all don't need to get whoopings no more. Y'all gonna do military stuff." So we used to have to
I
do
get you.
like hands out, do the T and things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
So
I
yeah.
do
I
Cause
that
don't
my
think.
now.
daughter in
I
the
still do
background
that.
talking about
Yeah.
planks. Yeah, cause
Yep.
we're a military family.
So
Hey,
I don't think that I don't think you
as they got
necessarily have
older,
to. Yeah, I don't think you necessarily. I think all not all kids have to be whooped, but I do think that discipline has to be in place. You can be a friend, but there do
and
have to
I
be a
agree
line
with
of
you.
discipline.
I'm
I
not saying a
never.
whooping. I'm
My
saying like you
daughter.
said, my sons learn how to sit on the wall and hold books in their hand.
How
Like
many
that
Yep.
whoopings you
hurted
got,
them
Shanada?
more.
Let them know how many whoopings you got your
She
whole
said,
life.
"Let them know."
One darn whooping. She got one whooping out her whole life. But you know what? I hear her talking
She
to
was like,
her
"I'm
friends,
done."
and she be like, "My mama crazy, so y'all, she don't like
Smart.
nobody else." Let them know. I'm glad that you know that I
Right.
don't play. You don't
Well,
talk
you
to me
guys,
crooked. You don't roll your eyes at me, and you don't say what to me.
oh, oh,
Oh, I hate that. What you say? Oh, I'm sorry, mom. Yeah, yeah, fix that. Like,
Okay. Come again.
right,
Right.
like,
Let's talk about it.
but she got one whooping out her whole life. But her daddy disrespects her. Go take your ass on that wall. Go do some planks. He forgot my one son. He made my one son do planks. Forgot, totally forgot. My baby was crying. I said, "Did you forget that your son?"
so
Little
I
po
was a
baby.
daddy's girl growing up, and he would look at me and go, I am so disappointed. And
Yep.
that would kill me. So my
Yep.
dad was a great, almost a manipulator because he knew he didn't have to spank me. He didn't have to ground me. All he had to do was tell me that he was disappointed, and it would, I mean,
To
I
be
would melt.
to be fair, Nancy, I'm a be fair, and I gotta keep it real and raw. It's different in the white household and the black household because
It
we
is.
in the
It
white
is.
household.
I'm glad you. I was.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you, had he have spanked me, I would have probably went, I can take that, and I'm going to show you I can take. In my head, I would have been like, because I was kind of a know-it-all, and but the he knew the psychological way to get to me
Yeah.
was to tell me that he
Yep.
was disappointed, and then man, I
You know
never
why?
did that again. I
Because
never even came
he saw
close.
that in you. So my daughter here. I have a very she's brilliant. When I tell y'all brilliant, MIT is already like, can we get her to come on a recruiting thing, right? So my thing is I can't whoop her. You know why? Because it doesn't make sense. But if I
Yeah.
take away her computer, if I take away
Oh
her
yeah.
electronics, if I
Something she
take away
care
the
about.
things that causes,
Yeah.
and when I come to her like you, Nancy, when I come and I say, hey, I'm disappointed, it hurts her more. And some kids are built like that. And I agree with all three of you guys. Some things don't require whooping, but I have four boys, and I can tell you each and every time, if I didn't hit them niggas in their chest, if I didn't do this, but it was when
Boys are
they got
different though.
older,
Boys
I
get
had
taught a little
And
right.
different.
we all grew up
It's
in
a
different households, so that's what. So when we do advocate, we have to remind people what may work for your household may not work for mine.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely. So
your kids
that's,
could
Yep.
be
yeah,
immature, my kids could be mature. I can
right.
only say one word to shut their ass up, but you gotta whoop their ass to shut their ass. Like we have to, when we advocate, we have to make sure to disclaim what may works for you
yeah.
may not work for your household. And I say that every time when I speak.
And
I
and to,
say
and to bring it back
disclaimer.
to our topic,
Say that again.
I was saying, and to bring it back to all this, the way it fits into our topic is
Mhm.
because no, I looked at when T Pretty came to me about this topic. I'm like, well, that entails this topic entails a lot of things because you see everything we just broke down
Yeah.
that comes all the way back to why people do what they do, why narcissists are created, why things happen the way they have. Because first we have to look at the root of the problem, and that's what I try to talk to young men about. I have to dig so deep into men, but they open up to me because I dig deep into myself. I'm not ashamed of telling where I came from. And a
Yep.
lot of men will look at their past as if they don't want to talk about it, right? And I'm like, nah, open up. Because the
Yeah.
more you open up, listen, you can go see a therapist all day, but if you lying to the therapist about and I'm not telling the whole truth, it
Absolutely.
does not matter.
Yes. Amen on that one. If
But
you're
if
That
you,
not,
is
if you
so
can't be
true.
but if
honest about what's happening, you're not going to get the help that you
because it's
need.
the
My
honesty that open up the healing, right? It's
That
the
Yeah.
is so
honesty that makes
true.
the man better.
mhm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That
I'm
is
My
so
sorry.
true.
mentor told me. My
Going
mentor
through
told
oh, I
me
don't know why I
that.
thought it was somebody else. But that's so true because going through I haven't been to therapy yet, but I do plan on going. But that's a that's a very touchy subject too, just to even go to therapy. And like you said, it does a lot speaking to somebody else who isn't a part of the situation, somebody who is very not nowhere near the situation at all. When a lot of times people like, oh, you could have talked to me, you too close to the situation, you know
Hmm.
um like I love my mom, but she still couldn't hear to this day like what I've been through fully. Um my aunt, just different people couldn't hear that. And so I do want to go to therapy because I feel like I need to release it. I need to let it out what happened, regardless if it's 12, 15 years ago. It still happened and it
Yep.
still has an effect on me. And like I mentioned earlier, some people don't realize the effects that it has. Like for me, I don't like if you ever come into my home, like the first thing I have to do is like I'm gonna look at you for a while and be like, why you don't take your shoes off? I was neglected a lot during the situation. So I always feel like when people have their shoes on, they're gonna leave me. And that's always stuck with me. So I'll be like, okay, why don't you take your shoes off? And it's something I've been trying to like get over, but it's some 15 years now. It still affects me. And I still look like, all right, take your shoes off. Get comfortable. Like no matter if you
Yelling
coming in
affects
or out.
me. It still
Huh?
is. It, yelling affects me. Like you can say what you
Yes.
say does not hurt my feelings, but how you approach it or present it to me, it hurts my feelings. And if you're
Yes.
yelling in there at me, I it, I don't. I can take what you say, but please, the way that you present it to me, I have a big issue with that. You know what I mean? So things still affect.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter how many years it is, T Pretty. If it still affects you, that's where your trigger is at. And a
Yeah.
lot of people don't know about their triggers because it don't happen until something triggers you to find out and you be like, what? Why is this still affecting me? Why is this still hurting me?
Mm-hmm.
It's because it's a trigger. But the unhealed doesn't understand that because you haven't got to that
yep.
point. You
Yeah.
haven't got to that point yet. And that's okay. I don't want people to think that's a bad thing. It's not. Every healing journey is different. Everybody see things different, and what you heal
Mhm.
from, it like you said, that still is a big thing from you, but you heal in something else in your journey that you've been through. Now you know what else you have to work through, and how can you navigate
Mhm.
life without it affecting you. Keep going forward.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
That's
yelling
so
still
true.
affects
Yeah.
me. I be telling my husband, can you come back to me when you done yelling? Because I can't do
My husband, I used to be a, well, I still yell sometimes, but I used to yell all the time. I get excited, I get upset, anything. I'm very big voiced. And my husband one time told me, he said, I can't hear you when you yell. And of course,
Hey,
I'm like, what?
my
Mhm.
You know, but then I had to stop and think, oh, he's telling me that he can't understand me when I'm screaming because that's, he doesn't hear
I,
that. You know, and
you know the
the other
biggest
thing
issue.
too, T Bria, until you're ready to go to therapy, one of the things that has helped me is that when I'm feeling all those feelings of self-doubt, or maybe of what's happened, or I figured out a trigger from something that's happened in the past, I do a little letter. Maybe it's to that person, or maybe it's just a letter, like a journal letter. I journal a lot, but maybe it's just a little a journal like about the situation. And then I burn that. And it's called a
Mhm.
burning. And I go through and I say, as I set the letter on fire, I release, I acknowledge I have these feelings, but I release their hold on me. And that has been a huge help to me in healing. Now, it's not domestic abuse I've been healed from, but my brother and I don't get along, and I used to have such great anger towards him. And I learned this. Actually, I'm really going to tell you, I think I heard it on Oprah years and years and years and years ago. And so I wrote him a letter
Not
about
Oprah.
all the things I was mad about and all the things I was upset. Well, you can't, I couldn't mail that to him because then it would be on paper. So I burned it, and it really kind of helped
So
release those feelings.
what
And
you
now
do,
I love my brother. We don't get along any better, but I don't have any, when I see
and
him, there's no animosity, there's no hatred. I'm filled with love for him. So I've kind of done
so
that kind of
so
self-healing.
what
So
that
yeah,
is. So what that is so I don't know you guys is what you believe, and I'm not trying to touch on anybody's stones on that. What you do is you kill the demons that hold you back. So
yeah.
people talk about anxiety to me, and I get so much. So everything that we experience, everything that we go through, I call it a demon. I'm like, if you experience anxiety, that's a demon talking to you. If
it.
you
Yeah, I got
experience
anxiety.
depression, it's because you haven't dealt with what causes you to stop being depressed. I tell people all the time, everybody goes through a little bit of sadness, but when you talk about depression, that's because you choose to stay stuck in the situation that you're depressed about. So the more you stay stuck in it, the more you dwell on it, the more you stop taking accountability for it, is what keeps you in that dark place. So what you said, I talk about that. I tell people like, "Hey, write a letter, burn it." If you don't know whoever you believe in, God, Jesus, Buddha, whatever, have sit down and have a conversation with them. And the reason why I say that is because it's a thing called two chairs I started doing some 14 years ago, and it really works. At 3 o'clock, I'm up every morning at 3. My fiance
I
is
don't
too.
know that's really
But
healthy, Jason.
I
what,
want
get another 3? But let me tell you
um
why.
I
Because I
want
get
to
up.
say something about it. So
Go ahead.
um we don't want to shin away from people that might do need a little extra
Yeah.
help
Yeah.
in that.
Yep.
So, but with that, I do have anxiety, but I'm a military wife. One, two. What I've noticed, PTSD. A lot of people have
Yes. That's what.
PTSD and
Now
it's
that's
going
real,
untreated. It's not being treated the correct
and
way. And
that's not just
it,
real in the military. That's real from everybody from a bad neighborhood
yes,
as
but
well. Yes.
PTSD go untreated incorrectly because and they think they got anxiety. So for me, Um,
I
I
like
have
you.
anxiety because they're not just the trauma that I went through in my relationship, but now I got a husband that's deployed. And while he was deployed, my brother passed away. And then after that, his dad passed. It was like the when it comes to anxiety and PTSD, people handle it differently.
And,
Yeah.
Because you
and
have
they do.
new.
And so let me. Can I make this statement? Because I don't want you to think I said this the wrong way.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that they're
Yes,
not real.
PTSD is real.
The
Somebody said.
thing that I really, huh? I
Somebody
didn't hear you.
said
Sorry.
PTSD is real.
Yeah, that's my cousin because he has it too. That's my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Um, he's part of our nostalgic family as well.
I
Um,
think when you
but
say
when I
depression is a choice, I think
well,
that's where,
I
because
said
for
that
me
in the
when you
sense
said I was
of
like a
a lot
choice.
of a lot of people do make that choice. A lot of people do really have it, and sometimes in this community, that's why I said let me come clean this up real quick. A lot of people in this community, the depression is something that they use as a manipulation tool. You can generally tell when somebody is really depressed, when somebody is really running through PTSD, anxiety, when they because anxiety says I can't stand to be around other people. That's what anxiety is. Anxiety is like it's sometimes that I'm just thinking about stuff and I'm like, I got it. I get it. I understand it. But there's a way to fight through it as well. And what I see in you, Sean, is you've learned to deal with it and cope with it and not make it an
Yeah.
excuse, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and
Some
I
people,
agree. I agree with you. That's why I said um, sometimes people mix PTSD because it's the same symptom, but it's a lot of anxiety. Like you got social anxiety, you have anxiety because of the trauma that you went through. And that means that you're not fully there yet. You're not fully healed from
yeah.
whatever trauma that you went through.
Hmm.
But then you got PTSD where it's not going treated, and the reason I keep bringing up PTSD is because I'm a military wife, right? And a lot of domestic violence situation coming from the military is because of soldiers that has
Yeah.
PTSD and it goes untreated, and now here we in this domestic violence situation. So
Yes.
people need to educate, not only get education, but educate themselves on, okay, where's this
Yeah.
anxiety coming from? Where's this PTSD coming from? Why I'm feeling anxious all the time? Like I agree with what you said, Jason. I totally agree
And T
with what
Pretty, I
you're
think
saying.
your thing is, and T Pretty, I just wanted to say this, and I've been wanting to say it from the time we met. I think what everything that you're saying you're not going to therapy for, the platform you created is your therapy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
And
that.
you have to
Mhm.
understand that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's why when I met you and you talked about it, I'm not an empath, but I am that person that God's blessed to say, hey, this person really needs a platform. And every show you brought on has been dealing with every issue that you're trying to find an answer to. So I'm not
Mhm.
telling you to go to therapy. I'm telling you to keep walking in the light that has been put before you, and you're going to find your healing from there.
And I would never
Oh
tell
no, most
you to
definitely, and I
go.
appreciate that.
I feel like you go to therapy when you're ready,
Exactly.
not
Exactly.
because somebody pressuring you. Because I didn't
Yes.
get therapy. Me and
Mhm.
my husband been together for 12 years, baby. I just got therapy, and I didn't even tell my husband for 2 years that I was getting therapy
I
because
saw
I
that.
I did an interview about this. I said I feel that as individuals, we have our own shit to unpack, right?
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
me being married, I don't want to go to therapy with him because I need to relearn me again. I need to unpack the shit that I came in the marriage with,
In
right?
with it.
So,
Hey, what'd you say?
so
I need to dump my own suitcases. I don't need
yes,
yours.
before we do this as a whole. And when I told him that I was going through therapy and I was 2 years in, he knew he seen the change. He said, "Baby, you're more
Yep.
calm. You listen to me more. You don't cut me off." And I'm like, because I'm learning myself. I'm learning to love myself.
Yep.
And I can't love you
Hey,
correctly
it
if
took a
I'm not fully loving myself. I
Yo,
can't give
right?
my
Hey,
kids
I
all of me if I'm not fully loving myself. But within them 12 years, I don't know how it happened. God, it was God, because I was
yeah,
giving
I'm like, what you
things to
mean?
my kids and my husband that I didn't even know that I had. I didn't have the capacity to give that to them. I wasn't at the capacity of loving myself. But I
Yeah.
kept seeing different patterns and different patterns and different, and I mean, I'm sorry, same patterns and same pattern. I said, okay, this not working for me no more. I need to go see somebody. I need the extra help. I'm helping myself, but I need the extra help. I will pray.
Hey, you
God,
know,
I kept God in the forefront, but I said I don't want to jeopardize my marriage, a good man, because of the shit that I brung. He was patient with
Mm-hmm.
me. He created that space to be patient with me. So it was up to me to do better. And when you do
Yeah.
better, then the people that loves you will fall right behind you and
Yeah.
follow suit and do better. And then my
That's so
hey, you
husband
know
true.
started doing
what?
better.
It's
He started
about giving
opening up to
yourself
me more.
grace.
Yeah, you have to
It's
give
You,
about,
yourself grace.
you would never talk to your best friend the way you talk to yourself. So
Yeah.
why on earth are you talking to yourself that way?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You
absolutely.
deserve love, you deserve safety, you deserve kindness. So treat yourself like that. But a lot of
I
times
like
we
Miss
don't
Nancy.
because we're so hard on ourselves. You know,
that's why I
Shauna,
say
that's
I,
a part of you realizing this is going to help me, but giving yourself grace in order to get it, because sometimes we don't even realize what's happening. And you said something very important, Maya Angelou: when you know better, do better.
Yep.
yep. And
and
you
That is
have
that's
to
the
so
give
thing
That's
is
true.
this.
yourself grace.
educating
And you have
yourself
to know
on,
that it's okay not to be okay all the time. You really
That
yes,
need to
part.
know that.
Speak that.
It's okay not
yes.
to be
You,
okay
you,
all the time. You
And
know,
people,
I
when
so
think
I
you
we
know
see,
get
why
so
some people.
yeah, we
when,
get so used to when somebody quick response. Somebody asks you, well, how your day going? I'm doing good. How you going through it? Girl, I'm doing good. It's always a quick response. And I've gotten in the habit of that, like, girl, no, today's a rough day, but I'm gonna be all right. Like, it's okay not to be okay.
yep,
And,
it's
and
well, I
like you
okay.
tell people
said, and,
that
and
when
that's
they get
another that's the
married,
thing that we don't normalize that.
people
It's a
always
balance.
say, don't go to bed angry. You can go to bed angry if you agree that it's okay to disagree. You, just because you're married to that person, I've been married for 25 years. I'm going to tell you right now, we go to bed sometimes mad at each other, but what we
I,
don't go to bed with
I
is
don't do that, Miss Nancy.
disrespect for each other,
Some
that
send
we
off his
that
dad.
we that we don't have the same opinion. I know that we're never going to always agree on every single little thing, but I know that my husband respects me and loves me, and he gives me that grace to have a different opinion than what he has.
So this
And
is
I
what
Can,
we
hope that he
say.
can I
knows that I feel the same way about him.
This is
can I
what
say
I
something real
say
quick?
when we grow up in
Go
it. So, but I make my husband kiss me before we go to bed. I don't care if you mad or whatever. We're
Oh
not going.
yeah. Yeah.
You
We
gonna give
hold
me a
hands when we
kiss.
fall
We gonna
asleep.
talk about it again
So
tomorrow.
can
He
I?
You
said, give me
mad?
that
Oh, you
sugar.
still mad? We're gonna
Yeah.
have a conversation because
So
my
so
daughter,
can
she
I?
be getting an attitude with me and she be mad. I said, we're not finna go to bed mad. Give me a kiss. Or then I'm mad and she
Hot
come
grits
remind
in
me,
bed. Ain't
well, you said we're not gonna go to bed mad, but you still mad at me. like, so
Yep.
I don't go to bed mad. I can't go to bed mad. It's that thing in my
So
head.
Yeah.
What if we
here's the
don't wake
thing
up?
from a good
And
man.
that'll be the
So
last
here's the
Right.
thing that
thing
I
from a
said to him. You know what I mean?
so here's the thing from a good man's point of view. Me and my fiance, because I'm scheduled to be married, like T Pretty knows, at the October of this year. And what me
Congratulations.
I appreciate it. So me and my fiance, like, yeah, we get upset with each other, but one thing that I talk to young men about, and I'm always on this, communication.
Yeah.
As long as we're talking,
That's the
it
big.
doesn't mean that we agree. I just need you to understand where I'm coming from, and I'm gonna understand where you coming from. We don't always like each other. We're not always happy with each other. We're not always happy with what's going on in our lives, but we talk about it and we talk about everything. You know why I say that's so important? because the devil finds anybody around you to put into your business and your life to create the lies that causes you to argue. So I tell people, if you talk to your spouse, if you tell them everything, I don't care if I just cut my little finger on a nail. Hey babe, I cut my finger today. Nobody can come in and be like, well, Jason cut his finger and he's over here bleeding, and now she's all hysterical, and now we fighting over somebody else not understanding our relationship. So what I try to tell people, exactly what you guys say. Yeah, it's okay to go mad because we got mad. The only
Yeah.
rule I got with us is I won't leave the house. We can be
Yes.
mad, but guess
Don't
what? I
walk.
got a
Yeah.
whole nother bedroom. I got a
Okay.
I got a whole couch out here. When you come out, because let's be real, you guys are women. Most women take the bedroom. So where am I sleeping? I'm on the couch. Let's
Or
stop
we
To the
playing
we
with it.
sleeping
couch.
on
Let's
one
stop.
end on the other bed, and you sleep go way over there onto the corner.
Hey,
Cause
and we
I
do
ain't do
that
that for
too.
Okay.
years.
I'm gonna go.
But you ain't going nowhere.
But
I
most men will go to the couch because what that does is give them a chance to think about it, give them a chance to be with themselves and over because me and my wife we got into an argument over over my daughters, and then I slept on the couch, and the next morning I got up. No, I wouldn't got in the bed, and then we slept on our. Cause we have a California Queens king, so you sleep on your side, I sleep on mine. It's like an island in the middle. But in the morning when I got up, we went to church, I texted her and I was like, hey, I'm sorry. You know why? Because men have to think about it. Sometimes it's not like you said, Nancy, earlier, and what you said, Shauna, is not about what I said, it's how I said it. So
Hmm.
sometimes I have to apologize about the tone in which I said it. That's what made you mad. But
Yep,
what I said was real.
I meant what I
Yeah.
said. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And a
And
lot of
still,
men,
and
we
you can
forget
still
that.
Eventually, would
respect
say,
each other
"I'm
and
sorry for
see
how I
have
Yes.
said it,
different
but I stand
opinions.
on it."
You know. But I wouldn't
Yeah.
let
And
my
I and
husband
me,
sleep on the couch because I have to hold his hand to fall asleep.
oh well, we got a whole bed. So
Oh.
Oh, me and my
my
husband the
couch is
same
like
way.
my
We
He
have a
couch
can't
is like
sleep.
three
California
beds.
king too, and you can sleep on your side, but I
Not
need to
y'all
hold
holding
your
hands,
hand.
baby. Uh-uh.
Yes, I cannot go to sleep. My
Hey,
husband will not buy me. So
but
that's
Nancy,
why
I
I
do
say it's
that too.
punishment. So that's being mad, right? I'm sleeping on your,
Yep.
you sleep
Yeah.
on your side. I'm sleeping on my side. We, I guess
Yep.
that's what you call being mad. But I still say, you
Yeah.
know what? I love you. I'm still mad, but I
Oh
love
yeah.
you.
Oh yeah.
I love you. Give me kids.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Give me
Absolutely.
Because
kids.
that makes a big
You
difference.
just don't
When
know. You might not wake up in the
I
morning.
come to
I just
bed,
don't want that to be the
Yeah.
so my
last
fiance,
thing
she
that me
works.
and my
She
husband
goes.
go.
My fiance works outside the
Hmm.
house, so she goes to work at 2:30 in the morning. So
Good.
when I come get into bed, because most of the time I'm up late because I design software, and I'm like right now while I'm talking with you guys, you keep seeing me turn to the left because I'm designing an app right now. So I'm running programs, and a lot of times when I come to bed, but she'll tell you when I come to bed, the first thing I do, I don't care if I'm mad or not. I'll pray over the house and then I'll come in there and I touch her. No matter if she's I won't grab her or nothing because I know she's got to get up early, but I'll touch her. I'll put my hand on her.
Mhm.
I'll pray over her and she'll tell you that wholeheartedly. And I tell a lot of men like you'll be shocked how much that means a lot to the woman that you're with. And a lot of men don't understand that because you may be asleep, but the fact that you took the time out to let me know you're here, to let me know that you're covered. Because women, I try to talk to a lot of men, and I'm like, women just want to be protected. They could give a damn about money. But we live in a society right now where they're telling you that every woman wants money. But I've been with enough older women and women who were established was like, I need the love. The money doesn't do what I really need, and that's where the
Mm.
walk comes in. The money just provides for what we are, but if you can provide for me but you're never there, that's why a lot of people get divorced.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I ain't on that. All
I don't
right.
know about the
Well,
safety
y'all.
part because I can take care of myself on that end, you know.
But
Right, y'all.
most
Let's
women
take
want
a
safety,
But it
and
really,
is,
I
really
don't
short
but
care
it
what you
is
commercial
say.
that
break, and
feeling
then
of
we're
being,
gonna come back. Yeah, we're gonna
yeah.
take a real quick commercial break, real quick. Come back with the resources for tonight. We're gonna get into Miss Nancy products. We're gonna get into Shauna's lipstick and more. Also, we're gonna talk about Behind Your Smile magazine. So, and we're gonna do our giveaway. So, you guys come back after the break, and we're gonna wrap it up. But we also
a new day, it's time to turn it up a notch. Turn it up. Hickory dickory dot. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 12. It's new day, it's time to turn this bitch up a notch. I was created to be what they can't be. These hoes so worrisome like some gum at the bottom of my feet. Bitch, get the fuck up off of me. Dragging these hoes through the dirt and the concrete. Anything it takes to get a bum bitch up off of me. I told her hating hoe on a TV screen. It's the only way she gon' see me. It's 2024 and it's a new way. I got 365 days just to get paid. It's time to cut you hating hoes off like a fresh fade. Get to a bag. I can do this shit like Ari read it. I'm so raw in, uncut, and they know if I ain't blessed from the tip from my head to my toes. This here's the real raw. Let's talk, show, and if you wanna learn some, sit back and listen to me flow. If it's about some money, let's talk about it. If it can change the world, let's talk about it. If you're an entrepreneur, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If it's about some money, let's talk about it. If it can change the world, let's talk about it. If you're an entrepreneur, let's talk about it. I'm so raw in, uncut, and they know if I ain't blessed from the tip of my head to my toes. This here's the real raw. Let's talk, show, and if you wanna learn some, sit back and listen to me flow.
I live my days in sin. I pray to God within. I know it's time to win. I run it like again. Scooter is the realest. Scooter is the trillest. Get up out your feeling. Need to go get some healing. Cause they really sleeping. I never really was creeping. Somebody call up LA. It's time for a fucking meeting. Tell Hove I need my meeting. They say I'm here breathing. I got plenty of seasoning. It's time to do some feeding. Chef Scooter is proceeding. Chef Scooter is that nigga. Chef Scooter cook it up. Chef Scooter whip it up. Chef Scooter turn it up. You bout to get it up. Chef Scooter, Chef Scooter, Chef Scooter. Hey. I live my days in sin. I pray to God within. I know it's time to win. I run it like begin. Scooter is the realest. Scooter is the trillest. Get up out your
Are we live? Shabba shabba. All right, y'all. So, y'all, it's been a great night. We got some home things to take care of before we leave tonight. Of course, the conversation, y'all, was great, and I think it's confirmed and stamped. We're gonna come back with a part two. So I can't wait to again rejoin with these ladies and Jason as well, and have this part two conversation to keep it going. I think there's a lot more once we start talking, there's so much more that goes into domestic violence and what meets the eye and what we just think off the top of our head. So I definitely want to keep that conversation going. Also, Nancy is coming tonight with some more resources as well, with Damsel Ninja. And this is a product line that you share that you have, and this is actually how I met you. I met
Mm-hmm.
Nancy from being at a pop-up shop, and
Mm-hmm.
when I tell you that I love the way that she works with people, because Nancy, you wasn't coming at me trying to sell a product. Like, you were coming at me strongly off of, I care and I want to help, and not even that I needed help. And I wouldn't even known that you didn't even have experience domestic violence. I thought this whole time that you did, just how you were so relatable to me, and I love that about you. And so I feel like you really can give provide some great resources for these ladies. And I'm gonna let you take it away with what you do and your website and what you have to offer as well.
Okay, so, and that is the greatest compliment I could ever have, because it's not about me. When I'm talking to someone, it's about the solution that they need to a safety
Yep.
situation that they are in. Has nothing to do with me. I'm simply the person that's standing in front of them to help them find what's comfortable for them and what they will actually carry. The worst thing you can do is buy a product from me and leave it in the box and never use it. That offends me. Because if that happens, then I've sold you something and I've taken your money, but I haven't helped you with your solution. So
Come
people
on,
always
Lisa.
ask me what's the best thing to carry. And I'm like, it's what you feel comfortable with. I feel comfortable with leaded, but I also feel very comfortable with layering my protection. Okay, so layering your protection could be a start with a stun gun, which is this is the one I carry. And the reason I do is because it has a situation around the wrist. It has a light on it. Did you guys know that that's legal for you to do? If I'm walking in my car and I feel uncomfortable, I can set off my stun gun. I can, no, get away from me. That's legal for me to do. I cannot just set off my gun because I feel like it, you know. But if I get into a fight with somebody and they take it away from me, it's going to disengage it, right? Now they can't use it back on me. And that's what I love about Damsel is that we've thought ahead with that so that, you know, you, a lot of women don't carry their protection because it was bulky, heavy, and ugly. So we lightened everything up and made it easier to carry, made it smaller so that it fits in your hand better. It has handrails on the back, so it really fits in your hand. So you really feel like you have a grip on that. We also have pepper sprays. Look how pretty! I love it. You know, just because you're carrying a weapon doesn't mean it can't be cute and fashionable. Okay. Pepper sprays are our pepper sprays are military grade, hottest on the market, can't buy hotter. What I love is the UV dye because now the police can pick them up 7 to 10 days later when you use your pepper spray. And they can, because you know, they're going to go, wasn't me, I wasn't there. I don't know what she's talking about. Now, all the police have to do is UV their face and say, why do you have pepper spray on your face? And that's if they don't get them in the area that you pepper sprayed them at. Think about it. Military grade is way hotter than what police carry. Why do we get to carry that? Because we're not getting them in the car. You're not putting your hands on them afterwards. You're not getting that on you like a police would do. Okay. A lot of
Mm.
times the police are able to pick them up because you can tell when somebody's been pepper sprayed. And then, of course, you have your Kubaton. And you always want to put it on a breakaway so that you can pull it off your key ring. A lot of people want to put this part on their key ring, but because ours are sharper than the other ones that you see out there, when you hit, if it sticks, you don't have to ask for your keys back. So you want to make sure that it's on a breakaway. So there's three pieces
Mm.
right there that you can layer your protection with. One, you can use a FAR. Well, two of them you can use FAR, the stun gun and or the stun device and the pepper spray. Two, you can use up close, the stun device and the Kubaton. The other things I want you to think about is where are you when you feel like you might need something? I feel very uh in my home, let's just go with your home. I feel very uh I keep thinking, what if somebody broke into my home when I'm in the shower? You know, I feel very vulnerable there. So I put one of these in my shower because now at my age, if I got out of the shower wet and naked, they'd probably be like, oh my God, my eyes, you know. But
Oh my God.
this is going to make them go, my eyes for a different reason, you know? And the other thing is that if I'm in the shower and they break into my house, I'm the first room they're going to come to is my bedroom. So now if they're standing in the bathroom door, they're between me and my leaded weapon, you know? So how do you stage your home? Do you make sure I the other things I ask people too, not only your home, but how do you stage your car? Do you get your tires rotated on a week, on a whatever they're supposed to be, every like 3 months? Do you get your oil changed? All these things are safety things that you need to think of, because the worst thing that could happen is you get away and you get to get in your car to drive away and your car won't start because you haven't done the maintenance on your car. So I am an abduction prevention specialist, an author, an abolitionist, and I do a lot of work with missing and unsolved murders because I don't want anyone to feel unsafe, no matter what walk of life you are from, no matter what color, no matter what sexual preference, no matter what. You deserve to feel safe. And if you're a good person, a good man or woman, I don't want to protect criminals, but if you're a good person, you deserve to be able to have something in your hand that will actually help level that playing field.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need if you need a speaker at an event, or if you want to have a party yourself, I can come over, we can talk about it. Safety is a very personal thing, and a lot of people feel very attacked about it because we do live in a state that leaded weapons, we have a lot of laws about our leaded weapons, and a lot of people think you should just carry a leaded weapon and that's all you need, but that's really not true. Your safety depends on you and where you are at it. And my job is to help you realize where you are with your safety and what's going to make you feel comfortable. Not about me, not about your husband if you're in a good marriage or not, not about your partner. It's not about anyone. It's about you. I always tell people that's the one time I want you to be super selfish, is when you're thinking about what will I carry, when will I carry it, and how will I carry it. And that's my job.
Yes.
I open all conversations. Anyone's welcome to reach out to me. My website is damsel ninja nancy.com. You can reach me at my phone number, 303-960-7343, or you can reach me by email, damselninjanancy@gmail.com. But if you have a situation or you have safety concerns, please reach out to me. You are never bothering me. Now, I don't answer the phone after 9 o'clock. And I'm sorry, Jason, but I get out of bed at 8.
I
I also am
can't.
very, very healthy because I never go for a run because I watch too many 2020s and listen to too many crime podcasts, and they went for a run and they never came back. So I don't go for runs either. But you know,
I love Nancy. I love
but
her.
but my job is to help you feel comfortable. And you guys, if you get nothing from tonight, if you take nothing from any of us, take this. You are worth the fight. You are worth the fight to leave if you need to. You are worth the fight to protect yourself. You are important. If you are breathing, there is a reason you are here, and the world does not work the same without you. So know that you are important. Know that you are loved, and know that you are needed.
All right. Look, now Nancy done brought a word we can pass the collection and communion on to the left. Like, nah, thank you so much for that, Nancy. I really appreciate that. And like again, if you know anyone out there who knows someone, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to reach out to Nancy. She definitely comes with the resources, the knowledge, and the spirit, most of all. And Nancy, I love you for what you do as well.
Thank you. And I will never
Again,
judge
her
you.
website is listed below in the comments. What's up, babe?
I said, I will never judge you for the questions that you may ask me.
Not
You
That's a
know,
fact. That is a fact. Now, also, I want to go ahead and turn it over to Miss Shauna, another wonderful lady as well. Um, Who got my lips popping tonight? Y'all ain't gonna say it
Oh
again. Ain't gonna
man.
say it again. Number 12, number 12. Okay. And it number 12 does come in the 6 pack. I forgot to mention that earlier. So you ain't gotta get separate. Number 12 does come in the pack of six. But Shauna is an author again. So many accolades I could say about you. So many sweet things. So many things that you do. I can say about you, Lord. You stay busy. But Shauna has a wonderful magazine, Behind Your Smile, and I just want to mention that real quick because she mentioned your girl. Your girl got featured in a magazine, okay? And it just so happened to be here. But we gonna Shauna, thank you so much for the shout out. My people know I'm goofy girl. And I thank you for putting me in your magazine though. It means a lot. I love what your magazine stands for. Your story behind your smile because a lot of people do see me a lot and I'm always smiling. I'm a very bubbly person, but to know me, you have to know my story on why I choose to
Yes.
smile. And so, and like you said earlier, it's not about your trauma, baby. It's about where you're going with it, what you're doing with it, what's the process of it. So, I want to turn the floor over to you, to give out resources that you have as well, and also let's talk about this Kicks for Cause.
Yes. So first, I do want to talk about Behind Your Smile magazine, and it was an honor to feature you. It's crazy how we met. We met on social media, and
Did
we did. And I think I posted something, and she was like, "Okay." She jumped in the inbox. She was like, "Sis, I got a question for you. When do you sleep?" And I'm like, "Girl, it's I don't. I really don't sleep because domestic violence is really close to me, and I take it very serious because I was a domestic violence victim. So I know when I was going through my journey of trauma, um, I didn't have that person that I can go to and that can speak life into me to get out. I had to be my own get out person. I mean, my mom was there, true enough, but she couldn't give me the resources to actually to what I need because she was married for 50 years. So a best friend, that's she's my best friend now, and she provided this space for me that I didn't even know that I needed. And then to this day, we've been best friends for 12 years, and my other best friend, we've been best friends for almost 30 years. And they just created this space that I needed. And I was like, I know if I feel like this, there's other women out there that's going through the same thing.
Absolutely.
And I used to always look for people on social media because social media is a big thing. And I advocate for social media too. Is that when you see someone going through something in a post, don't send them and say stop putting your business out there because you have to understand everybody don't have everybody to talk to. Everybody
Right.
don't have a therapist. Everybody don't have that family member. So sometimes when people post stuff on social media, that's their outlet. So I teach about being mindful of what you say. And Behind Your Smile magazine is basically really the story came about my mom. I almost lost my mom back in December. She had a blood clot that was wrapped around her lung, and she actually did die. She died. They brought her back to life. And when they took that blood clot out, they found another one on top of her heart. So when I say God has her here for a reason, He has her here for a reason. And me and my mom, when she was recovering, we talked about we never take the time to smile or talk about why we're smiling at the moment. We always talk about our trauma. We always talk about what we go through. But when we actually smile, we don't take advantage of that.
Mhm.
So Behind Your Smile, the name came from her, and the story, the back end of it is featuring entrepreneurs that get overlooked. It's a lot of talent and hidden gems out here that get overlooked. It's a lot of domestic violence advocates. It's a lot of domestic violence survivors that's looking for that support, and I want to be that person. I want to be that voice, and whatever outlet that I can come up with to be of help, of service, then I'm going to provide it. So we are featuring entrepreneurs. We are featuring people that's in the beauty industry because I'm in the beauty industry. We are featuring women that is domestic violence survivors, mental health, people that struggle with PTSD, military wife, military soldiers. Um, we feature any and everybody that needs to be seen and need to be heard. And that's my job, to make sure that you are seen and make sure that you are heard. Every year in October, we provide a sneaker ball. This year, we're traveling with the sneaker ball. We're hosting one in Arizona in August. I mean, no, I'm sorry, next month in May, and then one in California. And then here in Arizona, we're going to do a kick for cause. So, what a kick for cause is, it is domestic violence versus breast cancer or all cancer. And we're going to do kickball. Being that domestic violence and breast cancer is in the same month, domestic violence get tend to be overlooked. So
Yes,
I
it
make
does.
sure, yes, I make sure that I provide an event, or I provide something that makes sure that domestic violence is being loud, as just as loud as breast cancer is being loud.
Yes.
Um, so behind your smile, that is just the outlet for you to get featured. It's like 40 right now. It's like $45 to get featured, but right now we're offering some of our guests a free feature. And not only if you get a fee, you can also be a cover. You can also be a cover model if you want to. And I am a beauty owner, so I have a lipstick, and it is attached to my story. So my lipstick is very different. When you get a lipstick,
Is
it is. When you get a lipstick, you will find that it's a number, not a name. And the reason is because I want you to name your lipstick. I want you to tell me the story behind it. I want you to tell me why you picked that color. Why was you attached to that color? And you talk about it at you get featured at one of our events, or you will get published in a magazine. So it's not just about making a sale, but it's about getting women to speak up more, because what we do, we talk about our beauty first. We talk about any and everything before we talk about our trauma. So this is a
mm-hmm.
way for me to get to know you, in a way to get your story
I
out there.
love
So
that.
you can find me
I
on
love
all
it. I was
social
just
media
saying that.
platforms. My main one is GGK Lipstick Diary underscore Texas. And there's a link. And in my link tree, we have the magazine, we have the lipsticks, we have lip oils, we have all things beauty. But my main focus right now is my magazine. I want to feature as many men, as many women, whether you are a survivor or you are in business, because people that's in business is trying to navigate being a business owner and trying to heal from their trauma. Okay,
Hmm.
that's a
Okay.
lot. Okay, but we got to make money, so
Yeah.
we got a family
Okay.
to feed. Okay, so what we're doing is providing a space for people that's been in business but also went through things, and teaching them how to navigate through life. So look me up. Like I said, I'm on all social media platforms. What else? I think I covered everything. If I missed out anything, let me know. Too pretty. So I think I covered it pretty much.
No, I I don't even know how to follow back up with that. Besides, look at my lips. But y'all know I have always been a lipstick girl, so to finally like get a lipstick that true don't smear and like really gives me that look, that pop look. I tried it with L'Oreal. I've tried it with a lot of different Mac. Nobody gives my lips like that prominent pop like the commercials look and how you're supposed to look. So to finally find a lipstick that complements my skin and gives me that pop, I'm in love. I'm in love.
So
Uh,
what I forgot was, you asked me, was I looking for any brand ambassador? So I wanted to wait till we got on your show to let you know we would love for you to be GGK Beauty Co. brand ambassador.
Girl,
So
shut
what that entails is
your mouth.
that when you become a GGK Beauty Co. brand ambassador, for whatever, if you make sales, you get 10% back. So if somebody purchased from you, you get a commission. So I wanted to wait on your show to tell you. because I did post. I was like, I'm looking for brand ambassadors. Then I found out we was friends on Facebook, and I was like, dang, I don't want her to see this post. Cause she gonna be
Y'all,
like, sis, didn't I
OMG.
ask you about that? And then I wouldn't have had a comeback. Cause I don't like lying. So
No, thank you. Yes. I appreciate that. Yes, girl, love me some lipstick now. Look. Okay, look, y'all, make sure y'all tap in. Y'all, it's always you whether it's church, an event, you have somewhere to go. Put some lipstick
Mhm.
on and bring out that smile of yours. Um Definitely, Shauna, both you and Nancy are such gems. Like I appreciate you guys so much tonight, so much. Y'all brought down the house for conversation, resources, and discussion. Jason, thank you too as well. I didn't want to leave you out. Thank you
yes,
too as
Jason
well,
came with the
Jason.
Yes.
word, okay?
Yes.
It did. Y'all, we definitely gonna have to make this a part two. Definitely a part two. Because I mean the conversation was just that good, and honestly I didn't know it can go as wide as it did, and I'm glad that it did. I do strongly feel that it reached who it was supposed to reach. So I'm glad that it did happen that way.
Miss
Um
Nancy, I would love to
Uh,
maybe see if we can connect and partner with some stuff. I would love to connect with you
that's
because
what I'm
I
talking about.
I do a networking
Yes.
group once a month that I would like to invite you guys to.
yes, boy.
Look at the
Yeah.
love. This is what it's
does that
Yeah.
about.
include me?
Connecting,
I gotta
Of
ask.
course,
networking.
Absolutely.
Jason.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm
It's
so
all about
sorry.
building a million
So
dollar
we
business.
I am so sorry. So me and my husband is coming out with a podcast called Keep It Solid. And we are looking for men that wants to tell their story about trauma and how just to navigate being a man and being vulnerable at the same time. How
I
to
love it.
navigate
Yes.
life
Oh, I
being a
love it.
man, but you still can be vulnerable while you are a man. You still is a man.
Yes.
Everybody,
I
you're
love
not
it.
Superman. So we are looking for men. We are looking for women to talk about their story. We looking for a roundtable of military wives. So we are launching that at the end of April at a coffee
So
shop.
let me
All right.
know. I'm all about it.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So Jason, there you go.
Yeah,
You
please let
you
me
come
know.
on on.
Jason, come on for the Jason.
Come on.
Yes.
No, I'm saying just let me know. T Pretty will tell you I'm all about the platforms. If you guys don't have a way to dispute it on our network, we don't charge for shows. We're like come aboard and we all do profit share here. So no matter what we sell, no matter what we do, everybody eats equally because I built this platform because I want voices. If you haven't seen my show, T Pretty will tell you, like I said earlier, I hit nerves that people don't like. And I don't care
But
because I feel
you
like
gotta learn to be
has
uncomfortable.
to,
Yeah.
truth
The
When I
has to
best
met
be.
When I
conversations
met
come
T
from
Pretty
those
in
nerves.
person,
Yep.
it's like, girl, it's like we've been knowing each other
However,
for a minute. Like
but I
we
love this. Thank you, ladies, for
vibe,
allowing me to
okay?
be on this with you guys. I really do appreciate it. T Pretty knows. Um, I'm very humble and I'm very much of a person I love to learn. I want to know how I can help other businesses. My main company, like I told you before, Miss Nancy, is I build companies and I help people build their brands. That's been my life for the last since 2009. I want to see brands grow. It doesn't always mean money. What I like to do is
Mhm.
get with companies that are going to grow and get them to that next level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm talking
Well, that's
about.
what it is. If we there's enough business out there for all of us to grow and become successful.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Start
Yes,
eating,
indeed.
baby.
Okay. I'm loving the network. I'm loving the conversation. That's definitely inspiring to see like all of us coming from different backgrounds and all of us just network together and connect. I
Hmm.
love it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one thing I wanted was resources and the resources to help each other in the world, but also to network within each other when we have these topics and discussions. um so again, I thank y'all for coming. Just y'all remember, y'all links are below. Make sure that you check out Damsel Ninja Nancy for
And
all
they're in the
your
comments.
safety equipment and products. Make sure you also tune in with Shauna. And I'm gonna make sure I get this right because earlier I said it wrong. But now we're Brand Ambassador, I'm gonna get it right. Uh I'm gonna get it right. Y'all
Hey,
make sure
and
y'all go check out Miss Shauna, her lipstick line. Also, again, for the cancer, cakes for cancer. You have it here in Dallas too, right?
Yes.
Cakes for cause
And Grand Prairie. Yep.
in Grand Prairie. Y'all be on the lookout for that. I'll be sharing some flyers with that as well. This was a good segment. I love the networking too. Thank you so much, Shamika. We
and
didn't have time, y'all. We ran out of time for our giveaway. We're a little overtime. But we'll follow
put it
it
in the
up
comment.
tomorrow with a giveaway.
Yes.
Yep. So it's in the
Okay.
comment. All the links are in the comments.
All the links are in the comments. Y'all definitely check them out. It's been a long night and a good night again. Shauna, Nancy, and Jason, thank y'all so much. Y'all tune in for next week, Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. I'll see y'all next week on Real Raw. Let's talk.
Bye.
I'm so raw in, uncut, and they know. And I'm blessed from the tip of my head to my toes. This here is the real raw. Let's talk. Show. And if you wanna learn some, sit back and listen to me flow. If it's about some money, let's talk about it. If it could change the world, let's talk about it. If you're an entrepreneur, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If it's about some money, let's talk about it. If it could change the world, let's talk about it. If you're an entrepreneur, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Hickory dickory dot. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 12. It's a new day. It's time to turn it up a notch. Turn it up. Hickory dickory dot. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 12. It's a new day. It's time to turn this bitch up a notch. I was created to be what they can't be. These hoes so worrisome like some gum at the bottom of my feet. Bitch, get the fuck up off of me. Dragging these hoes through the dirt and the concrete. Anything it takes to get a bum bitch up off of me. I told her hating hoe on a TV screen. It's the only way she gon' see me. It's 2024 and it's a new wave. I got 365 days just to get paid. It's time to cut these hating hoes off like a fresh fade. Get to a bag. I can do this shit like Ari Reed. I'm so raw in, uncut, and they know. And I'm blessed from the tip of my head to my toes. This here's the real raw. Let's talk. Show. And if you wanna learn some, sit back and listen to me flow. If it's about some money, let's talk about it. If it could change the world, let's talk about it. If you're an entrepreneur, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If it's about some money, let's talk about it. If it could change the world, let's talk about it. If you're an entrepreneur, let's talk about it.